42%. Chapter 241. Wakai lowered his head to experience the changes in his body and mental energy, completely forgetting everything around him. When he opened his eyes again and found that it was still night, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He almost came out of his body, and saw the giant eagles who were originally ordinary ice sculptures at night, looking at him with their eyes wide open. Huakai instinctively hid in the family secret realm space and quickly disappeared in place. Any giant eagle on this mountain can easily solve itself. The golden-headed giant eagle may be able to kill itself directly without using mental energy, and even if it has the family secret realm space, it will not be able to escape. However, after entering the family secret realm space Wakai recalled just now, the giant eagles seemed to have no hostility towards him, otherwise he would have died early, but now let him go out to investigate, and he dare not give Wakai 100 courage. After calming down, Wakai came to Wu Jingjai. It is the fourth uncle Wa Zuan staying here tonight. Only when I asked my uncle did I know that he had been out for about 10 minutes just now, that is to say, after taking Bodhi Dan, his own feelings were actually completed in an instant, but he felt that countless years had passed. Hearing the system prompt, Huakai knew that Onchi had encountered it. The adventure needs strength and talent as the foundation. I just obtained a leaf of snow lotus, but there is no feeling that the leaf enters my body. Set up your mood. Huakai enters the dream space to experience the feeling of today again. But after entering the dream for 2 hours, Huakai wakes up without the slightest gain. 2 hours can only recall the fur that he has just understood. It seems that this kind of epiphany can be met but not sought. After understanding the meaning of Snow Lotus, the obsession in Wakai's heart disappeared. Maybe one day he enters the Gold Core realm. He will come here to try to let Snow Lotus recognize the Lord, and wait until it gets dark tomorrow. He is going down the mountain. Coming to the central crystal column in the family secret realm space, only Wakai can enter here. He clicked to view the attributes of the Wa family. Wahiabao, the 6th rank family. Prosperity, 3,428. Combat power, 6,190. Agriculture, 3,087. Animal husbandry, 1,737. Commercial, 4,218. Culture, 731. Comprehensive strength, 19,391. Allies. Ordos tribe, 5th rank Yao family, 7th rank Lu family, 2nd rank Sihai Chamber of Commerce, 4th rank. Affiliated forces. Huang family, 9 rank Ren family, 9 rank Jia family, 9 rank Yi family, 9 rank Tai family, 9 rank Yu family, 9 rank. Hostile forces. Zhao Guoshan family, 3rd rank Lindsay City Bu family, 7th rank. Capital. 68 purple gold coins, 182043 taels of gold, 670521 taels of silver, and 10,238 bone coins. Luck value, 25,980. Portable space, 3 cubic meters. With the Wushu breakthrough entering the Shantian realm, he also came to the Qi training realm to achieve great perfection, and the Wa family's combat power directly reached more than 6,000 points, becoming the highest of the 6 major attributes of the family. Because of the transfer of many stores in Guangxian City, Wahia's business value has dropped by more than 1,000 points, but other properties are steadily ascension. The family luck value has not been used for more than 2 months. Huakai saw that the luck value has reached 25,980 points, of which 10,000 points were rewarded by the adventure system just now. Now the family luck value has exceeded the overall strength by a lot, and it will disappear if you don't use it. Wakai sees here and returns to the Wu Jingjai secret realm space. It took 5,000 points of family luck to change the splitting air spear from the high-level ascension to the low-level. Considering that the family members need the ascension realm most now, Wakai also changed the meditation art from the low-level ascension to the middle level. In this way, the family luck value is left at 10,980 points, which can no longer upgrade the family mentality and martial skill. Quietly comprehending the upgraded family mentality and martial skill, now he has the Zochin level primary marksmanship, which can already open up a lot of combat power with the realm people. For the speed of realm ascension, as long as Wakai calms down and summarizes true Qi, he will naturally enter the Shantian realm after a while. Possessing the special mental method of God level, Wakai has no lack of insight, he only needs according to its own situation, it can constantly make up for its shortcomings, and realm can quickly ascension. There are still 10,000 points of family luck left. Now it is enough to use the silver gun. Realm is not enough and the weapon will not be effective. The armor he has, purple golden ice silkworm armor, is not inferior to the general heavy armor defense, so there is no need for forging, so after thinking about Huakai, let's first upgrade the portable space. The portable space has not been upgraded in 5 years since it broke through twice. Huakai spent 500 family luck to click on the upgrade, and the portable space expanded by 1 cubic meter. Seeing that the family luck is still enough, Huakai again clicked to upgrade twice, and the area of the portable space reached 6 square meters. Looking at the 8,480 points of family luck remaining at 0, Huakai wanted to upgrade for the 6th time. Last time I used up my family luck in order to refine Bodhi Dan, I was hunted down for more than 2 months. From now on, it is better to control the family luck at 5,000 points or more. In the afternoon, the butler Wafu called in all the core members of the family. Huakai taught everyone the upgraded family mentality and martial skill. He saw everyone staring at him from time to time. Why are you staring at me? Is there something wrong with my face? Huakai asked. Patriarch, you look different today from before. Zhuang said. What is different? Huakai asked. Brother, your eyes have become deep, and it feels a bit like Shui Chen's taste. Mo said uncertainly. The above aptitudes are the pride of heaven and the darling of heaven and earth, and they all exude an unspeakable charm. Huakai has just experienced a large-scale ascension of qualifications. Last night, the perception on the top of the Shenying mountain has not been fully digested, so the body may show some power of rules, just like Hua Zichen who has just taken golden body pill. Everyone nodded, only Hua Zichen and Hua Xing thoughtfully. K, do you understand the power of 5 elements will? I think your realm has come to the realm of Zochen, I am afraid that it is not far from Shantian. Hua Zichen said at this time. Others were surprised when they heard this. Hua Zichen realized that Jin's will can fight across realm. Hua Xing realized that Jin's will has no rivals with realm. Unexpectedly, Huakai realized the power of rules at the age of 19. Well, I understood the power of the rules a few days ago. I had some epiphanies yesterday. But what I realized was ice will, which is different from gold will. Everyone listened quietly, and Huakai explained to them what the ice will is. The 5 elements will is the most common will power, and the ice will belongs to the special rule will. These are the knowledge that Shantian realm late stage needs to know. Foundation building realm needs to perceive the power of rules so that one's body can be integrated into the rules of heaven and earth, so that it can arouse the huge power of heaven and earth to oneself. If you do not understand the will of heaven and earth power, then only through 5 elements heavenly and mortal treasures break through. The foundation building is far away for many people. It is called the existence of the king. The Donghu country is so powerful and only Donghu king is the foundation building. After entering the foundation building, the life expectancy will reach 500 years old as a good thing. But there are even more restrictions on the world. Huakai said so much as actually for Wushu and Shui Chen. Only 2 of the 10 core family members present can surpass S hope that the foundation building will succeed, and now they can slowly give to the future foundation. Building has laid the foundation for preparation. When entering the night, Huakai saw that most of the members had already left the family secret realm space, leaving only the second Zhuang to stay in the space tonight. He prepared everything and carefully left the family space. Looking at the group of giant eagles beside him, fortunately, they were still motionless with their eyes closed as before. If they stared at him with their eyes open, Huakai was afraid that he would hide in the space for the first time. Walking past the giant eagles, as long as you don't get close to Snow Lotus, the environment here is no threat to Huakai. He walked to the north of Shenying Mountain and saw the path down the mountain, waved farewell to the distant giant eagles. Later, and then down the mountain road. After 4 months without knowing it, Huakai walked down the mountain step by step in the night. The more he went down he felt the ice force became weaker, and he was not far from the mountain in just 2 hours. At this time, Huakai suddenly felt a slight movement in the distance, and he stopped to make sure that someone was coming in his direction. Someone is climbing Shenying Mountain at night. Is he here to comprehend the power of ice? It is impossible for Huakai to think about it. There is no space to escape the cold like the family secret realm space. You are lucky if you don't freeze to death here. It is impossible to realize the power of ice. As the other party approached, Huakai saw under the moonlight that the other party was a very old man. The old man's face was full of wrinkles and age spots. He was the kind of age that had to struggle to stand up, but at this time he slowly followed. Climb up the Shenying Mountain Trail. Will ordinary people be able to climb Mount Shenying like this? Huakai remembered what Uncle Wu once said that only the great perfection of the Shantian realm would be hidden on the top of Shenying Mountain when he was old. Huakai was still thinking about how to send the corpse up. This old man was probably on the top of the mountain. Shaningshan Tianzang. Hua Kai thought that he was about to hide in the family secret realm space. This kind of person is not easy to mess with. He is secretly entering the sacred mountain of others. Can the other party let him go? Little friend, the old man said at this time. Although his voice was old, it gave people a kind of cordial feeling. Hua Kai couldn't help but stop thinking of fleeing into the family secret realm space. This, sovereign, I don't know what you are doing on Shenying Mountain at this time. Hua Kai tried his best to keep smiling and convey goodwill to the other party. He also wanted to get some news from the other party. You don't need to be afraid, little friend. I am the high priest of the Great Moon Kingdom. It is only after my birthday that I was crowned Shenying Mountain. I don't know where I came from. The old man walked tremblingly in front of Hua Kai. His body was completely covered by ice crystals. He did not have the same antifreeze physique as Hua Kai. He could only rely on true qi to resist the ice. I was chased and killed before entering the Tianshan Mountains. Seeing that the other party was not malicious, Hua Kai stepped forward to explain. It's been a long time since I met someone recognized by the gods. When you get off the holy mountain, you are the Ujumukan tribe. This is the core area of the Dayu kingdom. If you want to go to the Ordos tribe, you have a lot to go. Well, the old man is going to climb the mountain, so I won't bother you. After speaking, the old man ignored Hua Kai and climbed to the top of the mountain step by step. Hua Kai finally knows why it is possible for the Great Moon Kingdom to be hidden in Shenying Mountain only by the Dzogchen in the Shantian realm. If there is no strength above the Dzogchen in the Shantian realm, you can try to climb the Shenying Mountain. 43%. Chapter 242. Hua Kai was happy to see that the old man saw that he was clearly in his heart. He slowly climbed to the top of Shenying Mountain step by step. If he could climb to the top of the mountain before dawn, he would be able to see Golden Thread Snow Lotus. Once you can get the gift of Golden Thread Snow Lotus, then it is possible to gain a breakthrough and enter a higher realm. Therefore, being able to climb the Shenying Mountain is a very happy thing in the Itsuki Kingdom. As long as the end is approaching, there is still a glimmer of hope as long as the Shenying Mountain can be climbed. Hua Kai turned his head and ignored the old man who was continuing to climb. He felt that the other party was wasting his efforts. He just checked the old man's attributes only at the Shantian realm. It is very difficult to climb to the top of the mountain. When he wakes up, he will be dismembered by the giant eagles halfway through. This may be a kind of comfort and sustenance. Hua Kai got off Shenying Mountain and felt that the chill here finally faded. In the dark, there was a vast grassland ahead. He knew that this place should belong to the hinterland of the Ujumchin tribe. It would be difficult for him to leave as an assassin by the opponent at night. After walking for more than 20 miles, it was relatively cold near Shenying Mountain. Hua Kai did not find anyone. At this time, the sky had begun to lighten gradually. Behind the peak of Shenying Mountain, there was a sharp sound of eagles. Hua Kai saw giant eagles hovering from the top of the mountain. The distance was too far. Hua Kai could not see whether the old man finally climbed to Shenying Mountain. Giant eagles you may be eating now. Regardless of those, Hua Kai regained his mind and walked forward quickly. After half an hour, the sky was already bright and the dense fog under Shenying Mountain began to slowly dissipate. Hua Kai saw the sun for the first time in nearly half a year. Suddenly a horseshoe came from a distance. Hua Kai fixed himself and watched the horizon one-horse team rushing towards him. He knew that it was unlikely to pass the Great Moon Kingdom quietly. Without horses, he would go to the Ordos tribe for a long time, so slowly waited for the arrival of the opposing cavalry. This cavalry team has about 3,000 horses and horses. At the forefront, there seems to be a young woman in light armor. The horse under the hips should belong to the top sweaty BMW. She walked at the forefront and separated hundreds of distances from the cavalry behind. The distance between the two sides was getting closer, and Hua Kai could even see the woman's clear face. I saw that woman was about 16 or 7 years old, and a silver spear in her hand was less than 10 feet. It was also suitable for her hand. She has white skin and delicate features. Under her pale eyebrows are a pair of smart eyes. She has a pretty nose and a small mouth. Red, a tight-fitting leather armor highlights the exquisite figure, and the red cloak behind him unfolds in the wind, giving people a sense of heroism. Such a girl is rare in the grassland, and Hua Kai stared at the other's delicate face to check her attributes. Urantuya Ujumukan. 5th floor of Pneumatic Realm. Qualification. SSS. Physique. 35. Strength. 39. Will. 46. Talent skills. Tianwei Heart, Spirit Beast Communication, Heavenly Dao Web not opened. Heart of Tianwei. Comprehension speed of all skills and rules power ascension 100%, ascension speed increased by 100%. Spirit Beast Communication. Have a natural ability to communicate with Spirit Beast. Heavenly Dao's Web. Use lifespan to explore changes in heaven and earth luck, the power of rules, etc. The Will of Ice. The first layer, 6%. Heavenly Strategy Warlock. Student. Mind Method. Golden Eagle Ju Tian Level Elementary Mind Method, Xiaochang. Martial Skill. Frost Arrow Method, Sky Intermediate Arrow Method, Xiaochang. Mind Method, Heavenly Strategy Sorcerer, Introduction to the 8 Dan Sutra of Figure Ghosts, Heaven Level Intermediate Mind Method. Martial Skill. Dotting Gun, Yellow Level Advanced Marksmanship. Green Snake Whip, Zon Level Low Level Whip Method, Xiaochang. Shaking Hammer, Yellow Level Intermediate Hammer Method, Xiaochang. Qingyu Sword, Lower Yellow Sword Technique, Xiaochang. Saber Technique, Yellow Level Low Level Saber Technique, Xiaochang. Loyalty. -2. Wakai saw the introduction of the other party's many attributes, martial skill, and he was the first to be shocked by the opponent's talent and talent skills. This is the first time that Huakai has seen a person with SSS or above qualifications, and she is still a young girl. Her name should be from the Ujumchin tribe, and her status should not be low, otherwise she won't learn the sky. Step Hard Method and Martial Skill. The woman saw Wakai staring at herself. Her delicate face was slightly angry. She picked up the spear in her hand and didn't speak, but directly killed him. Wakai thought that the other party had to ask himself at least when he came up, but when he saw that the other party got closer to him, he urged his crotch sweat and bloody BMW, as if he was going to kill himself under the horse. Girl, Wakai could only retreat quickly when he saw this place. He didn't want to take out the silver gun from the portable space, so that he could expose his secrets less and cause less trouble. Looking at your look like a sex mimi, you are not a good person at first sight, not a spy from another tribe, or a slave who fled, and you can catch it without restraining it. The girl said, riding a horse to kill him. Huakai is speechless. If you let me catch you, don't use force. There are 3,000 troops behind you, and I don't even have a horse. I can't run away. He saw the opponent's spear thrust towards his left arm, thinking that the opponent didn't want his life, so he planned to wait and see. He is confident to snatch a horse from these cavalry and leave quickly. The opponent seems to be too crowded to catch up with him in the Shantian realm, but he might be hunted down by the entire Great Moon Kingdom. Wakai rushed to avoid the opponent's rush, and saw that the girl was also superb in equestrianism. She only ran for more than 10 meters and then strangled the horse's head and turned to kill herself again, without giving Wakai a chance to explain. The cavalry behind them slowly followed at this time. They spread out in a circle and formed a circle, seeming to be afraid of Wakai's escape. It's just that this mouse seems a bit strong. Urantuya rushed to Huakai nearly 10 times in a row, but Huakai could easily avoid it every time. Every time he saw Huakai he would hurt Huakai. When the true chi cover flashes, it can make the opponent's attack invisible. Urantuya was anxious and stopped horse stance to continuously attack Huakai. Huakai had no weapons but could rely on true chi to resist it. However, the opponent and his realm were quite different. As long as his true chi was not exhausted, the opponent simply took it. No less than him. The cavalry of the Ujumchin tribe saw Urantuya going to fight with Huakai up close. They were worried about her safety and they would step forward to help. It could be seen that Huakai was only defending, and they stopped. All the cavalry did not know why Urantuya suddenly attacked a strange man, but at this time Urantuya was anxious. As the most dazzling pearl of the grasslands since childhood, Urantuya has always been sought after by everyone. I saw Wakai staring at her just now, as if she showed everything to each other without any secrets. This made Urantuya suffer. I wanted to teach the other party a lesson, but I didn't expect that the other party could stop her attack on foot. Urantuya, who was deceived and killed, saw Huakai's weak crown, which made her even more angry, thinking that she was incomparably talented. She couldn't even hold a bare-handed teenager who was not much older than her. Princess! Princess! The Ujumukan cavalry saw Urantuya suddenly jump off the horse, chased Huakai and killed him, and hurriedly shouted. Wakai just checked the attributes of this girl and knew that the other party was aware of it, but is it too much for the other party to be so reluctant? After Urantuya jumped off her horse, she actually had some regrets in her heart. The other party was also a strong person in the chi training realm when she could fight her with her bare hands. If he wanted to hurt herself, wouldn't she find her own death? Seeing that Wakai had already used the fist technique martial skill for another defense, Urantuya hurriedly retreated. She knew that as long as the opponent was serious, she might not be an opponent, so she took a few steps back to the Ujumukan cavalry formation. This person appeared in the hinterland of our sacred mountain. It must be a spy sent by other tribes to our tribe. He tied him up for me and handed over to my father to deal with it. Urantuya pointed to Huakai and said loudly. I said, girl, if the bad guys kidnapped you and ran away, I'll go with you and don't tie it up. Don't you just give you a look. The prairie girl is so stingy. Wakai saw that the cavalry behind Urantuya came up to surround him, and he did not move. At this time, it is better not to resist. The most important thing is to see their tribe patriarch quickly change horses and go home. Several Ujumukan cavalry soldiers dismounted and came to Huakai. They saw Huakai dressed up as a handsome young man. It seemed that he must be his son, and his cultivation base had already come to the realm. How could such a person be a spy? They couldn't help but look at Urantuya. Urantuya also knew that even though she had brought 3,000 cavalry, the other party wanted to run away from them, and there was no one here, so it would definitely not be able to stop the other party. So she didn't dare to anger Wakai. She told everyone to retreat, handed the weapon to the entourage behind her, and walked slowly to Wakai's side. Do you know where this is? You say you don't tie it. You said you are not a spy sent by another tribe. Is there any way to prove it? Urantuya looked like I was very reasonable. If I guess right, this place should belong to the Ujumchin tribal grassland. This is the hinterland of the Ujumchin tribe. If I can see how the spies can pass through your tribal defense and come here, even if the spies come here, they won't be able to detect anything. Is it intelligence? Wakai saw that although the girl was combative, but with a pure heart and no sense of defense against others, he kindly communicated with each other. Who knows if you came to our sacred mountain area to do damage? By the way, you don't look like our Dayu people. How did you come to our tribe? Warentuya is sure that Huakai has not danger, walked to his side and said. Of course I came down from Shaniing Mountain. Wakai said. You lie, how could you have come down from the sacred mountain? On the other side of the sacred mountain is the Tianshan Mountains. Urantuya said with a face full of disbelief, pouting. When I came down, I saw an old man climbing Shaniing Mountain. High Priest Tatum. Have you met High Priest Tatum? How is he now? Urantuya approached Wakai and said. The old man. It may have been digested by the condor almost now. Maybe you can still find some bones when you go up the mountain. Wakai thought for a while and said. Warentuya was anxious. She twisted herself Sweat BMW, kicked Sweat BMW with both legs on the chest and ran to the North Pole. Take him away. Wakai turned his head and smiled when he heard the voice of the other party. This girl was very interesting. 43%. Chapter 243 captured, the second addition to the leader of the potato knife. Huakai followed Urantuya to the Ujumchin tribe. This is a tribe much larger than the Ordos tribe. A crooked and clear lake passes through the Ujumchin tribe, and all the places that can be seen by the eyes are covered by tents. Although he was not tied up, the Ujumchin cavalry gave him an ordinary strong horse. A group of cavalry surrounded him and sent him to the loyal settlement of the Ujumchin tribe. Huakai thought that Urantuya would take he was handed over to the tribal chief, but when these cavalry sent him to a tent, no one paid any attention to himself. The tent was small and there was a team of more than 10 soldiers guarding him. Wakai had to go out several times but was blocked by the soldiers. If you have already come to the Ujumchin tribe, if you have an unpleasant relationship with the other party, it will be even more troublesome for you to leave. Huakai will wait patiently in the tent. Since the other party brought him here, someone will definitely ask him for a question. Waiting until the afternoon, Wakai walked around in the tent boredly. He asked the guard at the door how to leave, but no one paid attention to him. Smelling the scent of grilled lamb outside the tent, the tribe has already started to eat lunch. Wakai's stomach is also groaning. He deliberately returns to the family secret realm space to eat something, but is afraid that the outside guard will find out. Endure. Humph. Suddenly, there was a soft snort and remembered from outside the book. Wakai heard that it was the girl who had fought with him this morning. Listening to the words of the guards and soldiers, she should be the princess of the Ujumchin tribe. This girl, since I am sure that I am not an enemy spy, she asked the girl to let me go. I still have something to stay in your tribe. Wakai saw Urantuya walk into the tent and said. I saw Urantuya wearing a gorgeous waist skirt like shoulder-length red robe, with small silk beads wrapped around her waist, and a pair of exquisite animal leather boots on her feet. Compared to her dress in the morning, she was a noble in the grassland. What a girl should be. Who said that you are not an enemy spy anymore? It hasn't been found out yet. You can't go. Urantuya pouted. Girl, if you doubt my identity, you can give me to the patriarch of the noble tribe. I have tokens to prove that I am not the enemy of your Ujumchin tribe. I am a noble of the Chi state of the Central Plains. For business, I need to go home quickly. Huakai said patiently. Urantuya shook her head impatiently. My father is not in the tribe these days. I will let you go when I find out your identity. By the way, you said you came down from the Holy Mountain. What is on the Holy Mountain? Looks like. Urantuya pushed Wakai to sit on the blanket beside him, and then sat next to Wakai, asking curiously, completely looking like a curious girl. Wakai also sighed and couldn't help it. It seemed that he couldn't satisfy the curiosity of the princess of the Ujumchin tribe, and he couldn't leave. Wakai told Urantuya what the top of the Condor Mountain looked like. He only told himself that he saw a pool in the center of the mountain, and there was a big lotus flower in the pool. Yes, that's what our tribe records say. My mother once went to the top of the holy mountain. She told me that there is a spiritual pond on the top of the mountain. In the pond is the god of our grassland, and the god is like a lotus flower. Urantuya said happily. Since you said that you are a nobleman of Qi, how can you run to our holy mountain again? Urantuya asked curiously. Wakai told her how he followed the teacher of Shuigong to the state of Qin, and how he chased and killed him halfway north, fled all the way into the Tianshan Mountains, and then saw Shenying Mountain. You lie. How could you have climbed the sacred mountain and walked in the Tianshan Mountains for so long? Urantuya asked curiously. Naturally, I have my secret, and I can't tell others easily. Otherwise, how can I know about the holy mountain? I also know that there are 173 condors on the holy mountain. The largest one is only 3 meters high and has a neck. All of the above are golden. Wakai saw that Urantuya was actually a curious baby. His purpose of detaining himself here was actually to be curious about how he got down from Shenying Mountain and his secrets. Seeing that you performed well today, this princess is very happy. I will ask you to send you a leg of lamb. I will eat it quickly and stay here. When I find out your identity, I will let you go. Urantuya watched the sky gradually darken, and stood up and said to Wakai. After that, Wakai hurriedly left without waiting for Wakai's response. What did she say to find out his identity? She wanted to send someone to Qi State and she couldn't wait here for a year. When he reached the central area of the Ujumchin tribe, it was impossible for him to escape or kill. This tribe is larger than the Ordos tribe, with a population of more than 300,000, and it is impossible to escape quietly. If they disturb the Shantian state of their tribe, it will be even more troublesome to leave. Picking up the leg of lamb sent by a maid, Wakai ate it on his own. Don't conflict until it's a critical juncture. Maybe this curious princess loses interest in herself in a few days and puts herself away. In the early morning of the next day, the maid brought him toiletries, horse milk tea and beef jerky. He had just finished breakfast when he heard light footsteps coming from outside the tent. Throat. Don't say anything, come in. Wakai said while sitting on the blanket in the tent. I just passed by you after giving my father a good morning. Come in and see how you are. Urantuya deliberately looked inside the tent and said as if nothing had happened. Wakai was also speechless. Yesterday, he said that his father was not in the tribe and he would have to go out for a while to come back. Today, I went to pay good morning to my father. This girl looked very smart, and her intelligence instantly became 0 when she lied. Come on, what do you want to ask today? Wakai asked. You tell me what the Central Plains is like. I heard that many cities in the Central Plains have high walls. The high ones can't even fly by birds. There are hundreds of thousands of people living in one city, which is better than our entire tribe. Much. Urantuya excitedly told Huakai about the sight of the Central Plains in her heart. In her heart, everyone in Central Plains lives in a tall palace, and everyone is in exquisite brocade clothes. There is gold everywhere. There are many cities in the Central Plains, and most of the people live in cities. However, there are not many cities with a population larger than your entire tribe. There are only a dozen. Only the monarch. That is, the palace above the foundation building can live in palaces. Ordinary people live in ordinary houses. Wakai patiently told her about the affairs of the Central Plains. At noon, when a maid came in and called her, Orentuya reluctantly left the tent. Wakai heard that her mother asked her to do her homework. For the next 3 days, Urantuya was curious about everything. She came to Huakai at least twice a day. When she came, she asked Huakai to tell him the story of Central Plains, but when Huakai asked when she would let herself go, she turned her head. Divert the topic. As the champion of the 100 Nations Student Debate Contest, Wakai's knowledge in his stomach is not comparable to that of some old scholars. If it were not for this accident, he would have been a teacher in Jixia Academy last year, telling stories to Urantuya. Call a word of mouth. Wakai, or you can stay as my teacher. All of my teachers are boring. Urantuya approached Wakai and said to him. Wakai saw that Urantuya was only a foot away from him. A girl's special fragrance made Wakai's heart move. Although he had a maid in the Wa family, he had never been so close to a girl. Seeing Urantuya's perfect face and exquisite figure, he was a little stunned. Okay, as long as you don't run away in the future, you can walk around in the tribe at will. Seeing Wakai's appearance, Urantuya thought he was thinking, and said coquettishly, shaking his arm. The charm exuded by SSS qualification is not something ordinary people can resist. Wakai instantly felt that his own heart was a little confused, and the occasional physical contact with Urantuya caused an unspeakable emotion to rise in his heart. I can only stay in the Ujumchin tribe for 1 more day, and I will leave tomorrow. I also have my family, and my family is waiting for me to go back. I can't stay here for too long. The great migration of the Wa family was at the end of October this year, and it is now in late April. Huakai intends to stay in the Ordos tribe for a period of time, so there is really not much free time left for him. HMPH. I won't let you leave. If you dare to run away, I will tell my father and king that you are bullying me. Warentuya instantly changed her face and left Huakai and said angrily. She usually acted like this with her father, queen and mother, and never unsuccessful. Wakai rejected her today, which made her very angry. Wakai closed his eyes and said nothing. Today he was upset because of a little girl. This is really not right. He had already decided that if the other party didn't let him leave tomorrow, he would choose to break out. It would be better to escape and be surrounded by the Shantian realm than to stay here. This princess didn't seem to want to let him leave. The next morning, Wakai sat quietly in the tent, and heard the slight walking outside the tent. He knew Urantuya was wandering outside. Come in if you want, Wakai said. In the past few days, Wakai has also learned a little about Urantuya. Her student comprehension ability is the strongest he has ever seen. If it is in Chi, he might carefully teach her knowledge and cultivate a female monarch in the future. The author is also good, but she is the princess of the Ujumchin tribe, and he has long heard of her status in the tribe. Like a child who did something wrong, Urantuya bowed her head and walked into the tent. She also knew that if Wakai wanted to leave, the soldiers could not stop her, and she would not be able to tell her father about it. King. What do you want to hear today? Wakai opened his eyes and said softly. Today is a farewell to her, and he will choose to leave tonight. It is the fate of the two of them to meet this beautiful girl. Today is the last time he tells a story for Urantuya. 43%. Chapter 244 Shuangsheng Lake, for half a step of 40,000 coins plus 1 more. Are you leaving? Urantuya looked at Wakai and said in a low voice. Huakai was silent. Urantuya knew that if Huakai really wanted to leave, she would not be able to stop it anyway. Although he had never been in the Central Plains, he could guess that Huakai's knowledge and strength could be regarded as such in the Central Plains. Very good and rare. There must be a strong family behind him, and the father won't force Huakai to stay because of her willfulness. Today I will tell you a story for the last time. I will satisfy you for whatever you want, and I will leave tonight. Wakai said in a deep voice. You are my prisoner. If I don't let you go, you can't leave. I will send a large army to surround the tent to see how you leave. Urantuya said loudly, Wakai sitting on the carpet silently silent. When Urantuya first met Huakai, she was actually just curious. She had heard that scholars from Zongyuan were very knowledgeable. After communicating with Huakai these few days, she was already full of yearning for the world, Huakai said, but she knew that she would never leave the Ujumukan tribe. As the most talented royal family member of the Ujumchin tribe for thousands of years, she is responsible for the future of the tribe. How many princes from the big tribes of the Dayu kingdom want to get married with the Ujumchin tribe, and no one dislikes Urantuya. The dazzling pearl of the grassland, but Patriarch Ujumukan refused. If you want to marry Urantuya, use your entire tribe as a betrothal gift. Seeing that Wakai was unmoved, Warentuya's mind turned around and a smile suddenly appeared on her face. She came to Wakai to put her smile away. How about a gambling game between the two of us? Haven't you both written a book? Tell me a story. If I am satisfied, I will give you a BMW and let you go. If I am not satisfied, you must come and stay with me for a year, and I won't stop you wherever you go. Warentuya said to Wakai. Then I will stay here for a few more days. You can't go back on your words. I will leave even if you don't want it. Wakai agreed. Most of the stories handed down from the various tribes of the grassland are old stories of humans and demons. Huakai just takes out something to keep you from being impressed by a little girl. If you have a promise, it will not look good if you forcibly leave. Unknowingly, Wakai has actually been influenced by Urantuya. The SSS qualification is a rare talent of the human race in a century. Human luck is added to it. Influenced by heavenly Tao, Wakai can't help thinking from her perspective. Problem. That's okay. Let's say it's okay. As long as I'm not satisfied, you have to stay with me for a year and be my teacher. Then, as long as you don't run away from the Ujumukan grassland, you can go wherever you want. Warentuya, seeing that Wakai agreed, he said happily. Satisfaction or dissatisfaction is not for me to judge. In the end I say that I am dissatisfied anyway, then Huakai has to stay. Wakai laughed and said nothing. It seemed that he had to do some unique skills this time. Wakai, what story are you going to tell me? Can you start now? Seeing Wakai's promise, Urantuya came to him with a smile, and put a pink hand on his shoulder. I haven't thought yet, let me tell you this afternoon. Wakai thought about the story in his heart. What exactly should I copy? I will listen to the story in the afternoon. You have not played in our tribe for so many days. I will take you out now. Urantuya was a little embarrassed when he said that, whereas Huakai not going out, he how to get out while being imprisoned. Warentuya got up and took Huakai's hand, pulled him up from the blanket, and the two walked out of the tent. Today, the weather is clear and the sky is full of white clouds. The Shaniying mountain is clearly visible in the distance. Giant eagles are hovering over the Shaniying mountain. They have already established an interdependent relationship with the Ujumchin tribe. An eagle is regarded as a condor, that is the most lofty belief of their tribe. Sometimes a condor flies high above the Ujumukan tribe, and when they see cattle and sheep grazing on the grassland, they will come down to eat, and the herders also bow their heads to pray for blessings when they see the grassland. Sheep carcasses, they think that the condor ate their own cattle and sheep, which is God's favor to the owner. The members of the Ujumchin tribe passing by saw Urantuya and Huakai and bowed their heads to salute Urantuya. They stared at Huakai and looked at his clothes that were completely different from their own, wondering why their princess would be like this. A man is so close. That is my main account. That is my father's main account. My mother is the high priest of the tribe. She usually lives in the temple at the foot of Shaniying mountain. Urantuya took Huakai's hand. She seems to like to be so close to Huakai. The grasslands are not as exquisite as the Central Plains countries. Girls can pursue own love at will before they get married. Huakai saw two tall tents not far away from each other, which is the core area of the Ujumchin tribe. The size of a tribal tent represents his status in the tribe. Urantuya's tent is not much smaller than that of the Ujumukan Patriarch, which shows her status in the tribe. Our prairie girls can't bring boys into their tents before they get married. I won't take you to see my main account. I will take you to another place. Come with me. Warentuya smiled. Pulling Huakai to a horse farm, there are more than a dozen herders and slaves taking care of these 20 horses. Huakai looked at these horses. Most of them are BMWs. Urantuya's horse's sweat and blood BMW is eating grass there. This is my horse. Her name is Zhao Hong. You ride that black eagle, and we go out to play. Urantuya introduced the own horse to Huakai, and then pulled a pure black tall BMW to in front of Wakai, motioned him to mount and follow him. Princess, you have to go out again. Or I will arrange for someone to follow you. At this time, an old man who appeared to be in his 60s walked over and said to Urantuya with a smile on his face. He should be just a slave when dressed up. I won't leave the tribe too far. Don't tell my father, or see how I come back to clean up you. You let go. Urantuya rode her own horse and left, and the old man could only let her way out with a smile. Although Wakai didn't use the true eye to probe the opponent, he could sense that this old slave should be a master of the Shantian realm. Every clan and tribe may hide some masters. Wakai knew that the other party was afraid that he would be unfavorable to her princess. He glanced at the other party and mounted his horse and followed Urantuya. When she left the residential area of the Ujumchin tribe, Warentuya seemed very excited. She hurried her BMW to run at high speed on the grassland. Huakai rode behind her and wondered if she was getting away from each other now. Then look for a chance to leave quietly. Forget it after thinking about it, he didn't want to hurt the own girl who was flying in front of him. If you want to leave, let's leave it honestly. Seeing Warentuya's cultivation distance from him, Huakai input True Chi to Black Eagle under the crotch, and Black Eagle quickly picked up and caught up with Warentuya in front of him. Warentuya saw that Wakai was getting further and further away from herself at the beginning, but in the end she followed, smiling with satisfaction. The two ran horses for more than an hour, and the BMW was already sweating under the crotch, and Warentuya slowly stopped the horse stance. Wakai saw that they had come next to a small lake. The small lake was sky blue and looked so beautiful under the blue sky. Some small fishes could be seen swimming in the lake. Warentuya got off her horse and walked to the lake happily, playing with the lake water, with an innocent smile on her face. Wakai got off her horse and was attracted by the scene in front of him. He quietly admired it. Warentuya's happiness. Come here soon. This is the famous Shuangsheng Lake in our tribe. Legend has it that there used to be two spirit snakes, protecting the herdsmen in a radius of 100 miles, just like our Shenying Mountain. Later, the two spirit snakes didn't know about it. Wherever they went, people were driven away by wild beasts. In order to be grateful for the protection of spirit snakes, this place is called Shuangshenggu. Warentuya motioned to Wakai to come over and said to him. At this time, Huakai felt that thousands of cavalry came from behind him, the cavalry of the Ujumchin tribe. How could they be assured that Warentuya would leave the tribe alone? Warentuya seems to be used to all this for a long time. She took off her leather boots and walked into the Shuangsheng Lake, chasing the clumsy little fish in it, and seeing the beautiful shells on the bottom of the lake, she grabbed it and gave Huakai happily. Look. Under this blue sky, Wakai looked at Warentuya who was playing happily in the water. At this moment, his heart was extremely relaxed. The pressure of family survival at this moment seemed to be no longer important. He felt a particularly obvious world. The power of rules hovered around him. It was the power of ice will. He allowed ice will to enter his body, feeling that he seemed to be merging with the whole world. System prompt. Congratulations to the host for entering the state of enlightenment, understanding the rules of the world. Golden Sauceria effect is triggered, and the host's qualifications increase. System prompt. Congratulations to the host Ice Will for comprehending to enter the second level, all attributes are +1. Wakai seemed to have returned to the top of Shenying Mountain. The moment he took Bodhi Dan, only this time he only felt Ice Will, and the other 5 attributes were very weak. True Chi can't help running in his body automatically, and spiritual Chi around him can't help but condense to him. Wakai only feels that his True Chi is constantly being condensed and compressed. Slowly, there is a trace of True Chi that seems to have been compressed to the limit. With a hint of spirituality, Wakai can transform into any shape with a single thought. He knows that he has stepped into the threshold of the Shantian realm. That trace of spiritual True Chi began to slowly absorb the surrounding True Chi and continued to grow. I don't know how long it took Huakai to feel that his whole body was filled with this new True Chi. At this time, he slowly withdrew from this state and saw Warentuya was looking at herself with her eyes wide open. 43%. Chapter 245. The Legend of the White Snake. What's the matter with you? Warentuya looked at Wakai and asked. Wakai didn't know when she had already put on her shoes and came back ashore. Seeing her staring at her with concerned eyes, she couldn't help but smile. You are really a lucky star, Wakai said with a smile. What? Warentuya opened her eyes wide. Nothing, but you are very nice, beautiful, cute and smart, Wakai said. You were clearly not thinking about this just now, your eyes were motionless, huh? Warentuya seemed to feel a little wrong after she finished speaking. This is the first time she has spoken to someone other than her father and queen when she grew up. Huakai silently read the attribute panel in his heart. Huakai. Shantian Realm First Floor. Qualification. SS. Physique. 51. Strength. 57. Will. 60. Xuanbingwul. The second layer, 6%. Resistance. Intermediate cold ice antibody, 4%. Novelist. Everyone. Confucianism. Everyone. Taoism. Everyone. Mind method. Meditation Ju intermediate level mind method, great perfection. Marksmanship. Split air spear earth level primary marksmanship, Zochin. Saber technique. 18 swords, yellow rank, advanced saber technique complete. Mind method, novelist, the basic skills of copywriting, the low-level mental method of heaven is great. Special mind method. Big dream ideas, God level, Xiao Chang. Special skill. Real eye cannot be upgraded. He turned out to be the fourth person in the family to enter the Shantian realm. Originally, according to his estimation, it would take at least 3 years for the true Qi in his body to become Shantian true Qi. Unexpectedly, today's epiphany shortened 3 years of hard training. His aptitude ascension reached the SS level, and he felt that the rules of the world around him were kinder to him. Huakai releases its own true Qi and feels that Shantian true Qi is different from ordinary true Qi. Shantian true Qi can not only be transformed into anything more easily. In the past, he needed to condense a protective cover against weapons with his bare hands, but now he only needs to condense on the skin. A thin wall of true Qi. Under attack, these Shantian true Qi quickly gathered together. The cost of true Qi is less, but the defense capability is several times that of ascension. HMPH, ignore you. Yurantuya deliberately raised her voice. He watched Wakai's reaction secretly with his eyes. I don't know why. Wakai was the first person she had encountered that made her feel intimate. Boy. Part of the reason for this is that what she and Huakai understand is the ice will, and the other part is the mutual attraction between geniuses. Yurantuya never thought that a boy could understand so much more than her own tribe. The high priest knew a lot. I will stay in the Ujumchin tribe these 3 days. Ask what you want to know as soon as possible. It will be my reward for helping you today. Wakai guessed that he was able to break through Shantian so easily today, and Warentuya's talent is inseparable. You promised me that you can leave only if the story you tell me is satisfied, but you can't go back when you speak. Warentuya was no longer angry at this time. She didn't know what she helped Huakai today. She looked at Huakai right, he reminded. Wakai shook his head. It seemed that the other party really wanted to deny it. He could feel that although Yurantuya was revered as the princess of the Ujumchin tribe, her world was not big. In addition to daily study, own space is very small. Perhaps because she is a genius, ordinary people cannot communicate too much. Just like Shui Chen in the Chinese home, there is very little communication with others. Seeing that Wakai didn't speak, Warentuya got up and went to sit down on the rock beside Wakai. I usually come here when I'm in a bad mood to see the sky and the water here, as well as the fish in the water. Yurantuya said softly while looking at the middle of the lake. Do you usually have no friends? Wakai asked. My father, queen, mother and queen are usually very busy. The high priests and elders of the tribe said that I am the future of the tribe. I must study hard and understand the picture Ghost 8 Duan Sutra, but I don't want to be a priest and stay in the temple. Here, I like to practice martial arts. I have learned all the martial skills in the clan. No one in the whole tribe is my opponent, and the young people in the tribe are afraid to speak. Correct. Last year, a tribal prince from the Chang tribe came to our tribe to ask for a kiss. He didn't even dare to look at me. Are you funny? Quote. Yurantuya happily told Huakai about her. It was the first time she said these things to outsiders. At this moment, she even forgot that she was the princess of the Ujumchin tribe. Why are you so powerful? Are the pride of the Central Plains so powerful? Warentuya suddenly looked at Wakai and asked. She still minded that Wakai could easily defeat herself. My family is only a small family in Qi, and there are many countries in the Central Plains that are stronger than Qi. There are hundreds of large and small countries in the Central Plains. I am nothing in the entire Central Plains. Wakai thought about it. Said modestly. Warentuya was stunned when he heard it. He didn't believe that Huakai would be unknown in the Central Plains, but he was relieved when he thought about it. Yichu Kingdom was so powerful that he could not beat Linhu, Deu Kingdom, and Xiaoyu Kingdom. Qin State and Yichu State were also destroyed because of this. Qi State hadn't heard of it. If Wakai was the most talented person in the Central Plains, she would not believe it. Because the geniuses cultivated by a family are all piled up with heavenly and mortal treasures, you only have talents without the support of resources, mental methods, and martial skills. It is the understanding of every realm before the Shantian realm, and it will not work without decades of understanding. Heavenly and mortal treasures can reduce the cohesion and tempering of each realm true Qi, allowing people to focus more on realm breakthrough. If a realm stays for too long, the more you think about breakthrough, the more difficult it becomes. It is impossible to be promoted to Shantian before the age of 60, and the foundation building is basically hopeless. Then can you tell me about your family? Yurantuya stared at Wakai and said. The two began to sit by the lake and chat about the Hua family. Wurentuya was surprised to hear that Hua Kai had become the owner of the family at the age of 12. Listening to Wahiapu stepping out of the predicament from going into business, Wurentuya knew that she would not be able to keep Hua Kai anyway. She began to feel extremely lost in her heart. Looking at the boy next to her who was telling her own family story, Wurentuya felt an unspeakable feeling in her heart. It was like a precious thing that was finally obtained, suddenly leaving her. This feeling was uncomfortable. Let's go home, Wurentuya suddenly said coldly. What's wrong? Suddenly I'm not happy, Hua Kai asked when seeing Wurentuya suddenly upset today. I don't want to stay here anymore. I want to go home, Wurentuya said and got up. Hua Kai probably guessed the reason for the other party's unhappiness, and smiled bitterly in his heart. Returning to the tent in the evening, Hua Kai recalled everything he felt today and felt extremely relaxed. Wurentuya was the first person he had ever seen who made him so unguarded and said what was in his heart. Wurentuya is the center of the Ujumchin tribe. Although she is a daughter, the tribe has always cultivated her as the principal. It is basically impossible to marry her. It is even more impossible to join the Wujumukin tribe by yourself, so the two can only be friends. Hua Kai couldn't help but sink when he thought of this. They came back late in the afternoon. Wurentuya went directly back to the main account of OWN, and Hua Kai went back to the tent, and wanted to tell her a long story. It's the last gift before parting. But what story is appropriate? The novels he had written were basically not suitable for the grassland or Wurentuya's character. Thinking of the two of them going to Shuangsheng Lake today, Hua Kai suddenly had an idea, lying on the blanket, closing his eyes, and entering the sleeping space. Since the grassland likes to listen to the story of spirit beast and demonic beasts, the legend of the white snake is the most suitable for Wurentuya. In the story, Bai Niangzi and Zhao King were described by him as two big monster-level spirit snakes. Before they became spirit snakes, they were two ordinary savage beasts. At the beginning, the white snake encountered the green snake fighting, and the white snake won the green snake and followed her. When the white snake breakthrough became the demonic beasts, he did not endure the heavenly tribulation, and was seriously injured by a medical student named Xu Xian. From this moment, the white snake changed from a high-level brutal beast to a spiritual snake. After the spirit beast was transformed, he began to find the story of this medical student marrying him. Hua Kai has a special mentality of the god level, and everyone in the novel. As long as one idea, the new, white snake, in his heart can't help but fly out like a spring. Just 6 hours, a million words the outline of the novel came out. Hua Kai checked and revised some unreasonable places, and nodded in satisfaction. Only then did he exit the dream space and meditate to begin cultivation of the family mentality. On the second day, Hua Kai ate breakfast and swam around the Ujumchin tribe, and waited until it was almost noon before Wurentuya came to his tent. What's the matter? Hua Kai looked at Wurentuya and asked deliberately. Nothing. Wurentuya didn't dare to look at Hua Kai's eyes, and turned her head to the side. You come in and sit down, I will tell you a story about two spirit snakes. Hua Kai said. Spirit snake, are they the two spirit snakes of Shuangsheng Lake? Wurentuya suddenly became interested when she heard this. The story is called, The Legend of the White Snake, and it is about the love story between a big monster-level spirit snake and a young medical student. Wurentuya was immediately interested when he heard this, and seemed to have forgotten the unpleasantness of yesterday. He sat in front of Hua Kai and stared at him, waiting for him to speak. Thousands of years ago, there was a white snake and a green snake. They were savage beasts in the mountains and forests. Hua Kai organized all the main lines of the story last night. As a novel, he can easily dictate all the stories, because Hua Kai the relationship between the identities of the masters of the novel, Wurentuya could not help being introduced into the world of, The Legend of the White Snake. When Wurentuya heard that Bai Susan finally met Xu Xian, she clapped happily. Hearing Fa Hai's appearance of demons, she stamped her feet on the ground angrily, wishing to enter the story and fight Fa Hai. Time had come to the afternoon without knowing it, and seeing the maid quietly walking into the tent to urge Wurentuya to go back, Hua Kai stopped today's story. You go back. This story will take 2 days to finish. Hua Kai said. 43%. Chapter 246 Horse Racing Festival. Wurentuya heard Hua Kai say that there were still 2 days left before she recovered, reluctantly bid farewell to Hua Kai and left. When I got out of the tent, Wurentuya saw that it was too late. Then she remembered that she hadn't eaten anything in the afternoon. Since noon, her attention has been in the story of The Legend of the White Snake. She hasn't felt anything yet. Now she is so hungry. Cuckoo rang. Returning to her big tent, Urantuya saw a team of white-armored elite guards standing outside her tent, and she walked into the big tent with joy. Mother Queen, why are you back today? Warentuya came to a woman who looked about 30%. The face of this woman was somewhat similar to Warentuya, and everyone couldn't help but feel her holy spirit. In awe. I haven't returned for a few days, you are crazy. Your teachers have told me that you have less time to study these few days. The woman looked at Urantuya with a spoiling expression, but still said solemnly. Mother, those teachers are too dull, meaningless, I will go to class in a few days. Warentuya said. Her hands were already placed on the woman's shoulders and swayed. Oh, I really can't do anything with you. I came back today to tell you one thing. You are 16 years old this year and must participate in this year's horse racing festival. Your father has already sent news to the banner owners of the tribe, and some nearby tribes have also young talents will be sent over. If you see your heart moving, tell the queen to your father. Mother Warentuya looked at her daughter and touched her head and said. Mother, I don't want to get married. Urantuya blushed and said shyly. Wakai's shadow suddenly flashed in Urantuya's mind. Will there be young talents as handsome and talented as Wakai at this year's horse racing festival? Thinking of this, she had a look on her face, but she was caught by Queen Ujumukan by her side. Why, my good daughter already has her own favorite. Which teenager is he? Let the queen help you refer to it. Queen Ujumukan said with a smile. No, mother, can I wait another year to participate? Mother. It's useless for you to act like a baby this time. You were supposed to go last year. Take a look and set an example for the tribe girls. Mother didn't say that you must find someone to marry now. Queen Ujumukan said. Horse Racing Festival is the grandest festival in Itsuki country. Every April 10th, the whole Itsuki country and Xiaoyu country will hold lively horse racing activities. Generally, boys over 18 will participate. Most girls all are over 16 years old. Horse racing is of course men's horse racing, but girls are the focus on this day. Girls will put on the most beautiful clothes and go to the stadium to watch the game. If they meet a boy they like, they will sing horse racing festival songs. The better the boy shows the strongest strength, the more girls will be attracted. This is the first step for girls to fall in love with boys. The next day the racetrack will again hold a happy song program. Men and women will sing love songs. The last thing they can receive means that the two are looking at each other. The third day is the most important thing. If the person you like is determined, the girl will send a purse and other small accessories, and the boy will also send his own carefully polished small bone knives, animal teeth, etc. as gifts. Each person can only give one things. If the men and women exchange tokens, it means that they are not far from getting married. Both families can negotiate weddings and dowry matters. There are women who are married to the man's home, but there are also many men who are married to the wife. If the two parties cannot decide whether to marry a girl or a man, then use the most traditional method, which can give more gifts than anyone can give. Early the next morning, Warentuya came out of Huakai's tent as soon as it was light. Last night she lay in her tent and kept thinking about the story of The Legend of the White Snake. Has the misunderstanding between Bai Susan and Shu Xian been resolved? So that I went to bed very late. Wakai saw Urantuya walk in impatiently, with a slight smile on his face. He knew how lethal this kind of love story was for a young girl, especially in a world with underdeveloped information. Wakai compiled the story of The Legend of the White Snake last night, and the remaining half can be told about 9 times. Each time he only tells the core things, it takes less than an hour. Today, he will stop after 2 times. Down. The two wandered around the Ujumshin tribe for a while. Urantuya took Huakai and wanted to go back to the tent to listen to the story. Huakai insisted on telling it in the afternoon, so Urantuya had to go back to his own tent first. Time soon came to the third day. Wakai let out all the plots of The Legend of the White Snake, with a sigh of relief. Warentuya seemed to have not yet eased from the grief at the end of the story, and looked at Wakai with tears in her eyes. It's just the story, you don't have to take it seriously. Wakai couldn't help comforting as he looked at Urantuya with tears in his eyes. You are good or bad, how could Lady White die in the end? Urantuya was still brooding about the ending. Often good stories end in tragedy, so that people can remember it forever, don't you think? Wakai said softly. Urantuya stopped her tears. She looked at Wakai and thought of their agreement. Are you leaving? Right. When Urantuya heard the answer, she looked at Wakai's face. She seemed to feel that something important was moving away from her. She knew that she might be able to grasp it now, but the final outcome would not change. Kai was a little surprised when she saw that Urantuya was not cheating. She sat there quietly and seemed to be weighing something in her heart. Kai was not in a hurry and waited quietly. Then can you accompany me out for a walk? Urantuya seemed to have figured out something. The two walked towards the outskirts of the tribe's residential area. The more they went outside, there were civilians everywhere. There were also some slaves with thin clothes and skinny faces with all vegetables on their faces. It can be seen that the Ujumukan tribe has not yet been from the wolf disaster 4 years ago. Complete recovery. Urantuya took Kai's hand. Although Kai felt very strange, she didn't think much about it. Since the return of Shuangsheng Lake, she has never been close to herself. Do you have anything to tell me? Kai looked at Urantuya and said. What do you think? Will I let you go? Urantuya glanced at Kai and said deliberately. You will. Kai said. Promise me one thing, and I will let you leave. Urantuya's face turned red when she said that, and she felt her heart beating faster. What's the matter? I can do it for you. Kai thought that the other party really wanted to go, she couldn't stop herself at all, and family affairs urged him to go back quickly. In another 3 days, it will be the grandest festival in our Dayu Country Horse Festival. At that time, we young people in the grassland will all participate. As long as you finish the horse festival, I promise not to stop you anymore. Leave and I will send you a BMW to see you off. Urantuya said, staring at Kai tightly. Kai wanted to refuse, but looked at the other's eyes, but couldn't say what he said. Seeing Kai hesitating, Urantuya happily took his arm and told him the content of the Dayu National Horse Racing Festival. Kai knows that many countries in the grassland have horse racing festivals every year, and each country has different festival traditions, but many of the true goals are actually dating festivals for boys and girls, as long as adult unmarried men and women can participate. We are just young people here, everyone is actually just playing. I participated in the horse racing festival for the first time this year, you will accompany me once, okay, when this horse racing festival is over, I will never stop you, we pull the hook. Urantuya briefly introduced Kai to their horse racing festival activities, and extended her pinky finger to look at Kai hopefully. Kai unexpectedly stretched out her finger to pull the hook with her, and Urantuya got a satisfactory response and went back to her account happily. Returning to the own tent, Kai couldn't figure out why he was inexplicable and agreed to Urantuya to stay here for 10 more days, but now it was too late to regret it. He guessed that this might be caused by Urantuya's talent. The next morning, the weather was good. Kai got up to experience the early morning life of the herdsmen of the Ujumchin tribe. In the homes of ordinary herders, most of the women were in charge of the slaves' work. Many people go together in equestrian practice. Several slaves looked like Central Plains people. They did not know when they were captured and were feeding sheep to the herdsmen here. Kai walked past them and saw that their eyes were dull and their will was wiped out by the slave life in the prairie. They drove the herdsmen's cattle and sheep to prevent them from going far, while looking for food in the grass. One person found a bug who didn't know its name and skillfully threw away the parts that the bug couldn't eat, and quickly threw it into his mouth. When other slaves saw it, they could only lower their heads and continue looking for something to eat. They were arrested from the Chin state about 2 years ago. The Central Plains land has been invaded by the grassland countries for thousands of years. Although their strength is several times stronger than that of the grassland countries, most of the slave groups in the grassland tribes are plundered by the Central Plains. Prairie people are rarely seen. In order to deal with the tribes in the grassland, Qin, Yan, Zhao and other countries tried everything to no avail. In the end, they could only build the Great Wall in the north to prevent the invasion of the grassland countries. But can the Great Wall really stop the prairie cavalry? Kai looked at the Central Plains slave in front of him, lost in thought. At this time, a little slave crawled towards him, and it seemed that he could not walk. A female slave with a blue-faced complexion was extremely frightened when she saw this place. She crawled to Kai and held the own child with one hand, and kept kowtow to Kai. Maybe she thinks that the own child offends Kai. Kai felt sour. He took out a piece of wotu that had been in the portable space for a long time and threw it to the female slave. The female slave saw the wotu here and only stuffed it in her mouth. Many slaves nearby rushed over when they saw it. The female slave screamed and protected her own child under her, threw down the unfinished wotu and hurried away. Hua Kai watched as a group of slaves were torn apart for half of the Wotu, and he turned and left. He is not a savior and cannot save everyone who has suffered, but as a family leader, he can use his own way to change the order of the world. Hua Kai no longer thinks about this, and sees that time is almost walking towards the own tent. 43%. Chapter 247. Back in the tent, Urantuya was already waiting outside the tent. Do you run to me every day without having to go to class? Or are you afraid that I will run? Hua Kai said deliberately when seeing Urantuya in a good mood. My father said, I don't have to go to class until the end of the horse racing festival. We've said yes, if you leave secretly, you are not a gentleman. After you, the Shantian realm is promoted to the foundation building, and I am your heart's demon, pestering you. Warentuya said viciously on purpose. In Warentuya's view, Huakai's qualifications are stronger than her, and the other party is likely to succeed in foundation building in the future. Scholars in the Central Plains take the promise very seriously, so she scares Huakai so much. Why are you so happy today? Do you still want to listen to the story? Hua Kai asked. I won't tell you. Haven't you already decided to participate in the horse racing festival? Let's choose a BMW for you now, and then you will use it for the race. Urantuya pulled Huakai and was about to leave, but Huakai stopped. Step down. When did I promise you to participate in the race? I seem to just promise to participate in the horse racing festival, okay. Isn't participating in the horse race the same as participating in the race? Urantuya's eyes widened. Huakai was about to refute but was pulled out of the tent by Urantuya. The two behaved very intimately. Huakai saw that each other took his right arm into his arms with both hands. This was the first time a girl had done it with him. Such an intimate action. Originally refused, they didn't say it. The outside guard and the two maids couldn't help but lower their heads when they saw them coming out. They didn't dare to look at the princess. Coming to the tent where the horse was picked up last time, Huakai saw the old man who had spoken to Urantuya last time, confirming that he was the cultivation base of the Shantian realm, and that he was also the Zochin in the Shantian realm. Such a person would be willing to be in the Ujumchin tribe. Urantuya raises horses, but Urantuya doesn't know, and Huakai won't talk about it. Zhao Hong is my mount. That one is called the White Dragon. It is my father's mount. You can choose the rest and I will give it to you. You can use it to race during the horse racing festival. Urantuya pulling over own Zhao Hong. He pointed to a pure white horse in the distance and said to Huakai. Huakai saw that among the horses, the White Dragon was a magic horse, with a stronger attribute than the own Lu. The remaining Warentuya's Zhao Hong was on the verge of promotion, and the others were just ahead of him. The Black Eagle, that has been riding in a few days has the highest level. Then Black Eagle. Hua Kai thought for a while and said. He has now been promoted to Shantian, and only Shenju can give full play to his strength. If he really wants to race horses, he needs to upgrade the Black Eagle. When I was only weak, I actually wanted to see the festivals of the Great Moon Kingdom in my heart. Black Eagle is the best BMW in our tribe except for White Dragon, and Zhao Hong. Like Zhao Hong, it has the opportunity to be promoted to a god horse. Go, let me see how your equestrian skills are. Tuya said that she pulled Zhao Hong up and walked out. This time the old man did not stop her. The two of them rode all the way to the vicinity of Shuangsheng Lake before they stopped. More than 2,000 cavalrymen followed them far behind, and they all dispersed their guards when they stopped. The horse racing festival is held for 3 days, and the first day is horse racing. A race course is generally 10 miles away. Whoever can run 10 laps first is the first place. You must win the first place. Warentuya rides a horse. Approaching Hua Kai said to him. What's the first reward? Huakai probe asked. There is no reward, anyway, you must be first. Urantuya said anxiously. Okay, I'm number 1. Then what? Don't think that if your cultivation base is good, you will definitely get the first place. There are too many horse races. Although riders cannot bring weapons, they are allowed to use any means as long as they don't hurt human lives. Urantuya is cautious, said. Okay, I get it. What else? Hua Kai listened intently. I will test your equestrian skills these days. You may be surrounded by a lot of people in the arena. You may get the first place with superb equestrian skills. You can see my movements clearly. Warentuya said that she stopped on horseback and straightened her body. She directed Zhao Hong to move forward, only to see that Zhao Hong also straightened her body and walked meticulously, raising her horse's hoof. Huakai suddenly became interested. Just now, when the handsome figure of a rider was revealed, Urantuya suddenly felt a sullen air. This seemed simple, but it was not easy. Horse racing is not only faster than running, some riding movements must be paid attention to from entering the stadium. This is the natural pace that a horse must have when entering the stadium. Beautiful. Natural pace is divided into slow walking, hurried walking, jogging, and then I will show you one by one. Warentuya patiently told Huakai the essentials of equestrianism. Her face was full seriously. Huakai learns earnestly. The culture of a family is slowly developed bit by bit. After learning this by myself, in the future, when the Chinese family moves to Jialiuchang, they can also hold more horse races of this kind to use for the Ascension family atmosphere. Fortune and cultural value. From morning to afternoon, Urantuya has been telling Huakai about the equestrian movements that will be used in the racecourse. From admission to fancy performances, to the usual formation performances, Urantuya teaches me very carefully. Huakai only learned the essentials only a few times. You have almost mastered the essentials of riding, and now I have told you about the movements and skills of equestrian performance. You will practice more in the remaining few days. After you are familiar with the horses, I will teach you some more courses. Other riding skills that are easy to use on the battlefield. Warentuya said when she came to Huakai. Do you teach me this really just for me to accompany you to the horse racing festival? How come I don't feel that simple? Huakai said while looking at Urantuya. HMPH, you are not satisfied with me personally teaching you. Have you heard the songs of our tribe? Urantuya asked. It's nice to hear the herdsmen sang it. Huakai replied. Next, I will teach you a few songs. These are the most sung songs by men and women in the grassland. They will be used on the second day of the horse racing festival. Warentuya said, her face blushed. Okay, Huakai hasn't heard how Warentuya is singing yet. The two came to Shuangsheng Lake together. Warentuya sat on the big rock, and Huakai sat opposite her. You sing. Why don't you sing? Huakai looked at Warentuya and waited for a long time without seeing her. You look at me. I can't sing. Urantuya blushed and said. Okay, I'll turn to you to sing. Huakai turned his head and quietly waited for Urantuya to speak. The condor spreads its wings on the high snow-capped mountains. White clouds are flying in the blue sky. Horses galloping on the vast grassland. My elder brother doesn't know where you are. Pick a snow, lotus flower, I drive the flock. Urantuya's voice was as crisp as the spring water in a mountain stream. Huakai couldn't help but be fascinated. At this moment, he seemed to hear Urantuya talk tone. After singing a song, Huakai turned her head, but saw Urantuya staring at her. She saw Huakai turned her head and suddenly blushed. You sing really nicely, but do you sing this kind of song during the horse racing festival? Hearing Huakai's reluctance, Urantuya hurried over and sat beside him. This is our traditional song. Everyone sings these every year. There may be male and female antiphonal songs. I don't want to sing against other people. You must learn it. Urantuya looked at Huakai and said spoiledly. That's not good. I just sing this to you. Huakai opened his eyes wide. This is the most sung by our tribe. You have sung it once, have you learned it? Urantuya asked Huakai, looking at it. Huakai's face flushed. He just heard Warentuya's voice just now, and he just thought it sounded good, and suddenly forgot to learn it. Urantuya glanced at Huakai complaining about this, and started teaching him again. At this time, the two of them would not feel embarrassed to sing this kind of love song again. Huakai is also a SS genius, and he can usually just listen to it once. After learning the tune of the song, listening to Warentuya sing it, you can basically learn the deep meaning of the song. The two young men just sat beside the Shuangsheng Lake and sang love songs. Huakai looked at Urantuya and realized that the singing voice had become a little more gentle. Urantuya looked at Huakai with joy on his face. Huakai learned 5 songs in one afternoon, and he asked Urantuya to teach him more. Many of these Daew's national songs are mainly long and short tunes, so he can learn more and come back to the family secret realm space in the evening, and he can review more. When he came back to Huakai at night, there was still a smile on his face. He could feel that his relationship with Urantuya was heating up rapidly. He didn't mind these Huakai, let's go with the flow. In the evening, Huakai enters the dream space to recall what he has learned today. When he sees Urantuya's beautiful face again, he feels different from the past. He has become more and more emotional when singing in his dreams. With charm, SS-level genius and comprehension, Coupled with hard work over and over again, Huakai's strength has gained a rapid ascension. In the early morning of the next day, Urantuya continued to look for Huakai, and today she was wearing leather armor and helped Huakai bring all the black eagles over. Let's go. Today we have to practice more equestrianism. We have to practice the songs and duets. I brought dry food, Urantuya said with a smile. Huakai couldn't help but become very relaxed when he saw Urantuya. The family affairs seemed to have been put down at this moment. He saw Urantuya walk in front of him with shame, and said to him with a cloth bag in his hand. Yesterday they practiced until the afternoon before coming back, and today Urantuya has prepared something to eat out for them. You taught me how to sing in equestrianism. Today I will invite you to eat some good things. Go and find some meat. You won't take these things. Huakai watched him holding 2 roasted lamb legs. Some kumis said. What good food do you want me to eat? Is it the barbecue from the Central Plains? Urantuya asked with wide eyes and curious expression. At that time you will know. 44%. Chapter 248. Such a genius. Huakai and Urantuya rode on horses and drove towards Shuangsheng Lake. This time, the tribe followed them with only more than 20 cavalry. An hour later, they came to the edge of Shuangsheng Lake. Urantuya is like a serious teacher, asking Huakai to show what she learned yesterday. Huakai started with the natural pace of riding and showed Urantuya a little bit on the black eagle. Urantuya wanted to give him advice. After seeing that all the equestrian movements he learned yesterday were in place, he came to him. Did you use these equestrian moves before? Yesterday deliberately pretended not to be. Urantuya looked at Huakai with a vigilant expression. Such simple equestrian movements are enough to learn in one day. Have you learned these equestrian movements for a long time? Huakai looked at Urantuya in confusion. Urantuya's face blushed and turned her head. It took her half a month to learn all the basic equestrian movements. It took more than a year to reach the current level. The standard of movements is no worse than that of the teacher who taught her. I heard Huakai asked her to suspect that the teachers were deceiving herself, but Urantuya hadn't participated in the horse racing festival yet. She hadn't seen other young people practicing riding skills. How? How is it possible? I learned it in a day too. But your riding skills are much worse than mine, so you have to practice more. Urantuya's eyes rolled, and she dared not look at Huakai's face and said. Huakai also smiled in his heart. He and Urantuya came to the place where they sang yesterday and sang the own song Urantuya taught yesterday. Today is completely different from yesterday. Huakai sings aloud the song of the Dayu clan, as if he has fully integrated into the Ujumchin tribe. This piece of heaven and earth seems to have become cordial at this moment. Urantuya looked at Huakai's performance incredibly. Yesterday, Huakai could only be regarded as a master, and it was not a good match. After only one night, he was like a teenager from the Ujumukan tribe, singing it sounds better than most tribe members. Urantuya, the song of the love song duet, sang very seriously, and Huakai also cooperated with him seamlessly, just like the two have worked together countless times. Zhe Ting Huakai got up and took out 2 pieces of fresh mutton from the immediately, took out the prepared dry wood and seasoning from the space, took out a small silver knife and cut a piece of wood into thin long sticks. Urantuya was not surprised at Huakai's ability to take out things at will. Both her parents had their own small spaces of different degrees. She sat next to Huakai and helped Huakai set fire. A strong smell of barbecue soon came from the edge of Shuangsheng Lake. Urantuya smelled the scent and stared at the barbecue. The barbecue she had eaten was only a little salt. This special smell of barbecue is her never encountered it before. What are you? Urantuya asked while staring at the skewers being grilled, watching Huakai keep feeding the barbecue. This is a seasoning made by myself. This one is specially used for barbecue. You can taste it later to make sure you are satisfied. Huakai said. Seeing Urantuya's saliva that had been waiting, she swallowed, and the meat was finally cooked. Handing a few skewers of barbecue to Urantuya's hands, the other party picked it up and took a bite, and nodded to Huakai with satisfaction. This barbecue is so delicious. I have never eaten such a delicious barbecue. Urantuya said while eating. Would you like some fine wine? Huakai also tasted a bunch of mutton. The lamb was very tender. I want it. Is it also your Chi country's fine wine? Urantuya heard that some fine wine came to Huakai. The women and children on the grassland drink alcohol, but they all drink merkumis, which has very little alcohol. Huakai took out 2 porcelain cups from the portable space and placed them on the big rock in front of him, and took out the Baoguang glass bottle to pour a glass of spirit wine for the 2 of them. Warentuya smelled the fragrance of wine and her face was rosy. She took the cup and took a sip. The wine flowed through her throat and stimulated her taste buds. She felt that the spirit of the wine turned into a silky spiritual chi spreading after it entered her belly. In my body, my pores seem to be opened. It's delicious. A caravan from our tribe came here a few years ago to bring some wine. I have tasted a lot worse than this. Do you people in the Central Plains all drink this kind of wine? Urantuya said with some yearning. This wine is brewed by my family itself. It is generally not sold. If you like it, I can give you some. Huakai took another sip of the spirit wine and said slowly. Then I will give this wine to my father and queen to taste. Urantuya said happily. The two of them were eating barbecue and slowly tasting wine. Urantuya told Huakai about her childhood. Her world was within 200 miles of the Ujumchin tribe. Huakai could hear the whole Wuju. The Mukin tribe places high hopes on her. Eat and drink, we should train. I'll teach you some rare riding movements, which Hautian can use, and you need to practice more riding skills. After teaching Huakai riding for a while, Urantuya taught him a few new songs. The relationship between the two people unknowingly was slowly getting closer, and when they returned to the tribe, the sky was already dark. The next morning, the Ujumchin tribe had already begun to prepare the layout of the horse racing festival. Young people from other tribes also began to arrive one after another. Small vendors brought all kinds of goods to outside the Ujumchin tribe. Huakai saw herdsmen bringing cattle, sheep and horses, just like the opening of a market in Chi. Huakai and Urantuya are wandering around the market. The most popular items here are cloth, sugar, salt and tea from the Central Plains, but the price is beyond imagination. Urantuya seems to be full of curiosity about everything, and she has to go up and take a look at the rare things. Huakai is not interested in their products. Some of the horses and slaves here are not bad, but he bought them. I can't take it home. Wherever Urantuya goes, she will attract all the eyes of her surroundings, but there are hundreds of elite guards behind her, and most people can only look at it from a distance. Huakai saw some young people following them, and sometimes deliberately made some actions to attract Urantuya's attention, but Urantuya turned a blind eye to all this. Huakai, I'm a little hungry. Urantuya suddenly said to Huakai halfway around. There are green sacks there, let's go buy some. There is a green sack cake on the grassland, which is made by digging holes in the ground with highland barley and wheat as raw materials. It has a unique taste with a little salt in it. No, I don't want to eat a green bag. Warentuya looked at Huakai and said. Then, let's go to Shuangsheng Lake. Make barbecue and eat. Huakai finished Warentuya and took his arm happily, and was anxious to go home and lead the horse. Huakai knew that after today, the two basically didn't have much time to get along with each other. Tomorrow's horse racing festival officially started. 3 days later, he had to go to the Ordos tribe. Zhuang told him yesterday that they had arrived in the Ordos tribe and Lu was in the tribe. This year the Wahia caravan was just exploring the way, because Shui Chen could transport goods from the family secret realm space, so hundreds of people in the caravan rode all the way. If it weren't for bringing horses and slaves back, they wouldn't need so much people. In the afternoon, Huakai and Urantuya were roasting meat by the Shuangsheng Lake. Urantuya told Huakai about things to pay attention to in the race tomorrow. In fact, she had said these things several times, but Huakai still listened patiently. NS. Your singing is already very good. You can write stories, don't know if you can write songs. If you can sing songs that no one has ever heard, then it must be the focus of attention of all the girls at the horse racing festival. Tuya took a sip of the spirit wine, her face flushed, and she came to Huakai's side and said. Wait a minute. Huakai closed his eyes and immersed himself in his portable space. He remembered some Huron's instruments and tunes in his mind. Some tunes can be played with pipa accompaniment. He took out a handful of pipa, which he brought out from Jixia Academy. Because of the Baoguang glass bottle, Huakai's portable space has become less and less useful in recent years, and this pipa has never been taken out. Put pipa on a big rock and fix it. Huakai found the lower voice. He often practices instrument playing these days. Pippa is already very proficient in playing. 18 beats of Hujia, with the style of the Great Yu dynasty pops up. This is a masterpiece of Kai Wenji in Three Kingdoms. Huakai did not sing lyrics, but played quietly. It was the first time Warentuya saw Huakai such a musical instrument. She also listened quietly. Unknowingly tears came from her eyes. Huakai played a tragic tone of the grassland. What kind of tone is this? Urantuya asked. A poor woman from the Central Plains was plundered to the grassland to make a song. Wakai returned in this way. She's so pitiful, did she go home later? Warentuya heard Kai Wenji's missing home in the tune. I'm back, but the house is gone. Wakai said Warentuya silently. Do you hate the grassland countries in your heart? Warentuya heard what Wakaikan meant. It's hard to talk about hatred, but most of the slaves on the grasslands are plundered from the Central Plains, while the Central Plains rarely see people from the grasslands. This is a fact. Natural selection is made by nature, and everyone in every country has his own survival. If possible, I will stop this plunder. Wakai whispered. When Urantuya heard Wakai say this, she gradually fell into contemplation. The tribe sent tens of thousands of elites to hunt south last year. In the end, only about 3,000 soldiers came back. They brought countless treasures and slaves, and they became the envy of everyone in the tribe. But these slaves were originally the people of the Central Plains. The tribe lost tens of thousands of cavalry, and the Central Plains countries lost much more than them. Urantuya looked at Huakai quietly, and she felt a peculiar temperament emanating from Huakai, which Urantuya had never seen in her father. Do you think you can do it? Urantuya said, looking at the night sky. Can. 44%. Chapter 249 The Horse Racing Festival begins. Wakai was awakened by the noise outside the tent. He got up and walked out of the tent to see that the sky outside the tent was still dark, and many herders had already started pouring outside the tribe. Urantuya wears a gorgeous brocade robe today. The brocade robe is mainly red and sky blue. In addition, there are many other colors of silk satin stitched on it. Her skirt is sewn by a strip of golden silk satin. Cheng, gold is a unique symbol of the royal family of the Dayu family, and it seems to have a noble atmosphere. Wakai saw Urantuya becoming more and more temperamental, and she could not help showing a proud smile when she saw Wakai staring at herself at the corner of her mouth. Are you wearing such clothes to participate in the horse racing festival? There are no other clothes. Warentuya asked dissatisfiedly when he saw that Wakai would always be two clothes. This is my family's family clothes. I wore casual clothes yesterday. Family clothes must be worn on the most important festivals in the Central Plains. To be honest, Wakai wears fine silk brocades for the head of the Wa family, and some of the patterns carved on it are also very particular, and they look no worse than Urantuya's clothes. Okay, hurry up and eat breakfast. During the 3 consecutive days of the horse racing festival, neither the men nor the women can leave the event site. Then I can't stay with you all the time. If you don't understand, please ask the guards of the venue. Urantuya said to Wakai. Huakai increasingly feels that this horse racing festival will not be that simple anymore. If you have to learn so many things, you must not leave the event site during the event. If it is just for fun, why bother to make it so cumbersome? After eating the breakfast delivered by the maid, Wakai saw that someone had sent Black Eagle out of his account. In the past few days, he has become more proficient in cooperating with Black Eagle. Huakai often feeds him and Zhaohong some green fodder in the space. Black Eagle has begun to like Huakai more. After riding out of the tribe, it has become a sea of people. Some people saw Wakai dressed handsomely and rode such a BMW, they couldn't help but smile and let him go. Wakai also saw a dressed girl who turned her head blushing when she saw herself. Walking along the crowd to the racecourse here is the biggest Huakai has ever seen. Huakai thought there would be many people participating in the races, but when they arrived there were more than 100 people, girls dressed in costumes. Went to the other end of the racecourse. Most of these boys are around 20 years old, and some may be younger. They are all dressed in gorgeous costumes, and everyone greets each other face to face. A soldier registered for everyone. Huakai heard that these people introduced the princes of the various tribes of the Dayu kingdom, as well as the direct descendants of the major banner owners of the Ujumchin tribe. Wakai suddenly felt that today's horse racing would not be like what Urantuya said, everyone just got together to have fun. Wakai's dress is definitely out of the ordinary in the crowd. After the registrant has registered his information, the country line says Central Plains Wagwo. After all, not many people in Chi State know here. In everyone's mind, all the people from the Central Plains are almost the same. Wakai said that he is from Chi Guahua's family, and the registrant directly registered as Wagwo. After that, everyone was waiting at the starting point of the track. Huakai dismounted and stroked Black Eagle's neck, taking out a handful of green fodder and putting it in Black Eagle's mouth from time to time. The relationship between the horse and the owner needs to be cultivated, so the battlefield only with the above can they cooperate with them to exert greater power. All the young people who participated in the horse race were extremely handsome. They dismounted 3 or 5 groups to discuss together, and from time to time they laughed that only men can understand. Brother, it's strange to see your decorations. It's not our Dayu country, right? A young man who appeared to be 24 or 5 years old walked up to Wakai to talk. I am from the Central Plains, and I just passed by the Ujumchin tribe to experience the excitement of the Dayu Kingdom Festival. Wakai replied. Good luck, brother. This year, the princess of the Ujumchin tribe, the most precious pearl on the grassland, Urantuya participated in the horse racing festival for the first time. Most of them came for Princess Urantuya. The young man said to Huakai mysterious. Oh, so you are here for Urantuya too? Wakai asked. Haha, who doesn't want it? Married the princess of the Ujumukan tribe, she is the future king of the Dayu kingdom. I think brother, you are good, maybe you can win the favor of Princess Urantuya. Some familiar, said to Wakai. Wakai looked at his cultivation base on the 7th floor of Kaiyuan realm. The B qualification is not bad for ordinary families, but it is not enough for large families. Besides, he also wants to marry Princess Warentuya, who is recognized as the most dazzling pearl of the grassland. When the sun was about to rise, Huakai saw that more than 300 young people had come to the venue on horseback. People they met in small groups gathered to chat about the horse racing festival. When the sun rose, countless spectators gathered outside the racecourse. They watched the young people in the arena pointing and pointing. At this time, a group of beautiful girls in costumes came from the other side of the racecourse, and everyone looked at them. Be attracted by them. The girls are probably less than the boys. They boarded a 3-meter-high stand on the edge of the racecourse and watched the boys screaming at them. The boys seemed to be injected with new strength. Everyone was very strong. Straightening his waist and standing upright, Wakai saw that Urantuya was the most dazzling among the girls. Urantuya's splendid robe was embroidered with gold rims, which was the most special among the crowd. The other girls could only surround her behind her, and everyone's eyes were basically on Urantuya. At this time, an old man came from the racecourse and Huakai felt that the opponent probably had the Shantian Zochin cultivation base. All the contestants couldn't help but calm down at this time. The old man stepped forward and read the horse racing rules. In fact, this horse race is an exhibition race, and Huakai also sees that this horse racing festival is a large-scale blind date event. He does not resist these Huakai. It is all about experiencing the national culture of the Dayu kingdom. The first is a natural pace equestrian show. The old man probably arranged the formation for everyone. The more noble horses the better. They were ranked first, and Wakai was placed first in the front left of the team. All the 300 years present were the descendants of the tribes and banner owners of the Dayu kingdom, but some of them were riding horses in shabby clothes. Maybe they came here for the purpose of finding a powerful tribe. Wakai saw a long humming sound in the distance. Everyone tightened the reins of the horses, and the old man waved the first row of 10 horses and started to play. The 10 people controlled the same horse stance. All of them raised their heads and straightened their chests to direct the horses to start hurriedly walk towards the girls' viewing platform. The girls in the stands in the distance saw the boys walking towards them, shouting and waving at them. Prairie girls are not very reserved when they fall in love. If you don't take the initiative when you see the boy you like, you will be snatched away by others. Urantuya saw Wakai in the first row and waved to him happily. Many people in the equestrian team were rushing to see this place. They were shocked. Wakai saw his brother horse stance on the right. He was a little confused and didn't know it. At the edge of the stands, the sound of drums stopped. Everyone lined up and walked slowly. All the girls in the stands looked at the handsome knight below. In the future, their husband is likely to be one of these knights below. All the spectators outside the racecourse also shouted out their familiar people. Some patriarchs or flag owners followed their own children. Although they could not enter the racecourse, they were still very happy. All the equestrian performers walked past the girls in a unified and natural pace. This is their first meeting. Most of the girls in the stands put their eyes on the first few rows, because this means that their horses are godly and the tribal family is stronger. And the boys focused their attention on the girls at the forefront. Behind them are often the most powerful tribes in the Dayu kingdom. Of course, Urantuya stood in the center of the front of the stands and was the focal point of the entire racecourse. When we met for the first time, the boys' costumes, horses, and performances all represented their family status and their own strength. The girls already had some understanding of the boy's image and manners. After walking through the stands, Huakai began to slow down horse slowly. Stance, these more than 300 young formal knights began to speed up their pace and start jogging. The spectators outside the racecourse looked at such a group of handsome boys at this time, and they shouted enthusiastically to cheer for them. The team was taken to the center of the racecourse by a cavalryman, and the second show began below. If the first match is appearance, then the second match is guts. Many special tracks have been built in the center of the racecourse, and the next step is for everyone to compete on the obstacle course. Huakai took a look at these obstacle courses, which were not the slightest difficulty for him. Black Eagle is a top-level BMW. In this kind of track, Huakai has a great advantage. Huakai is in the Shantian realm. Even if it is 100 meters high, he can cooperate with Black Eagle to board. At the beginning of the second exhibition game, Huakai was the first to appear. The first obstacle was a wooden bridge half a meter wide and more than 30 meters long. Huakai rode a black sculpture across it easily. The second obstacle is 5 consecutive obstacles. As long as you go around, Huakai can see the obstacles more than 3 meters high and let Black Eagle directly cross them, but each obstacle is only more than 5 meters apart. Black Eagle, after crossing the first obstacle, he must continue to take off. Huakai injected true chi into him, and he surpassed all 5 obstacles in one go. There was a burst of cheers from outside the field, and the girls in the distant stands applauded him together. This was originally necessary to bypass the obstacles, so Huakai played directly into a continuous jump. The third obstacle is to pass through a hole more than 2 meters high. This is no problem. Huakai came to the last obstacle in one breath, which is a hurdle more than 10 meters high. It is impossible for ordinary horses to cross an obstacle over 10 meters high, and it is also difficult for BMW to complete it. However, after Huakai injected its own true chi into Black Eagle jumped nearly 10 meters high, seeing the difference. At this point, Huakai urged his true chi to transform into a true chi hood under the 2 hind feet of Black Eagle. He and Black Eagle figured out their minds, and Black Eagle tried hard on the hind legs. Overcoming the 10-meter high obstacle easily, Huakai won the applause of everyone in the audience. 44%. Chapter 250. Huakai's first appearance was greeted with cheers from the audience and contestants. He saw that the other young knights behind him were selectively crossing obstacles, and it was inevitable that some people failed to cross the obstacles and suffered injuries. 300 people one after another, and the speed of completing the obstacle course is also very fast. The obstacle course performance is over in less than half an hour. At this time, everyone has a basic understanding of everyone's strength. Finally, when it comes to the final horse racing moment, the first 2 shows are mainly performances, and the next is the real competition. All of them must use their full strength and get the top rankings, so that they may get more chances to appear, to win the attention of the top-ranked girls. Arrange the order of appearance. The position of the injured knight in the last game was filled up by the contestants behind, and everyone was ready to wait for the order of the old man in the distance. A melodious hooty sound rang, followed by a rapid drumming. Huakai saw that the others around him had already started, so he urged Black Eagle to rush forward. The track was only more than 10 meters wide, so it was crowded at first. There was cheers from outside the track. Everyone shouted their familiar names to cheer for the players. Huakai injected true chi to Black Eagle and rushed out, and other players followed closely. The entire racecourse is about 10 miles down one lap, and the horses are ranked according to the order of the 10 laps. At this moment, everyone is trying their best to inject true chi into their own horses. Huakai rode through the stands where the girls were, and the girls cheered. The atmosphere of the Ujumchin tribe's horse racing is not comparable to that of ordinary tribes. When all the horses in the arena are running, outside the court cheers came from the audience and the girls' stands. After half a lap, Huakai saw that there were more than a dozen people remaining behind him. These more than a dozen people were above the chi level. They kept injecting true chi into their hips, but at most they could only guarantee that they would not be with Huakai. The distance is too open. Huakai saw the 2 participating riders struggling to approach him. When the distance between the 2 horses was close to the 2 horses, one of the riders attacked Huakai with empty fists. The fist weather turned into a wave of energy and flew towards Huakai. Huakai saw it here. A shallow wall of energy flashed across his back, and the true chi energy wall became invisible when it encountered Shantian level true chi. Someone deliberately provokes himself. Huakai turned back and hit the opponent with true chi. Even though the chi training realm struggled to block it, he still fell from immediately. There was a burst of loud shouts from the outside of the field. Everyone who saw this kind of mutual fighting between knights was passionate. Everyone watched Huakai cheering on him. Other young people who originally wanted to find something for Huakai also hesitated when they saw this place. They began to turn their goals to other contestants. Huakai did not want to conflict with them too much. He participated in this horse racing festival mainly because feel the atmosphere of horse racing in Dayu country. Slowly other riders started to get away from Huakai. No one troubled him. Huakai could always maintain the first position even without injecting true chi into Black Eagle. After one lap, more than 300 riders had already opened the distance. People with strength are struggling to move forward, and those without strength are attacking each other, hoping to reduce competitors and get a better ranking. After 2 laps, Huakai could already see the figure of the rider in front of him. The opponent watched Huakai surpass him and deliberately stepped forward to jam his position. Huakai suddenly injected true chi into Black Eagle and changed the road. Overtake from his right. At this time, many participating riders also saw that someone had surpassed them to catch up, and they all leaned up from both sides to block Huakai's forward direction. I didn't want to make too many shots in this game, but it seems that this is a fighting game. Since you have chosen to intercept me together, don't blame me for making heavy moves. The containment rushed directly. Approaching the opponent, Hua Kai Kong Ming fist continuously used, and 3 phantoms flew towards the 3 riders in front. After the opponent saw it, although they tried their best to avoid resistance, they were all just a pneumatic cultivation base. How could they withstand Shantian True Chi? The 3 fell at about the same time, and Hua Kai saw the gap in front of him rushing away quickly. Hua Kai's attack just now had reduced his strength. After True Chi hit them, they all burst into the air. All 3 of them were only slightly injured. The prairie people grew up on horseback, so that after a horse race, they can choose the best place to drop the horse and leave the track quickly. Therefore, it is rare to get trampled by the horse behind. Huakai rushed through several teams of blockers in a row. Everyone outside the field was basically attracted by him. Everyone looked at him and cheered loudly. Unknowingly, he felt that the blockers in front began to decrease. It turned out that he had surpassed most of the players in the competition. It's a circle. Some of the riders who were in the first sequence with Huakai saw Huakai catching up from behind. They couldn't help being surprised. There were soldiers in front holding a sign with 6 laps outside the track. That was for Huakai to remind them. There are still 7 laps. Several air training riders exchanged eyes with each other, and they all surrounded Huakai together. There were more than 10 people in their first sequence, and they occupied more than half of the track side by side. Huakai moved them to the left. Move all to the left, Huakai moves to the right, and they all move to the right. This group of aura training is not easy to deal with, and it is difficult for Huakai to rush out of the encirclement if you don't want to make a heavy hand. Everyone off the court saw Huakai's plight, everyone shouted to cheer for him, and heroes were also worshipped on the grassland. Huakai tried to charge. He hit an opponent's back with Kong Ming Quan True Chi, but the rider just shook his body and did not fall off. Huakai did not dare to use too much True Chi. Killing the enemy is not a game anymore. Several Chi training riders began to surround him from both sides. If Huakai was surrounded by them, he would have to endure a siege of more than a dozen people. He saw that Black Eagle was suddenly injected with True Chi from the left side of the track. Moving to the right, the other party saw it hurriedly to the right again. Black Sculpture Ane, this is because Huakai has injected too much True Chi into it, and it has hurt it a little. Shantian realm can only exert its full strength with the god horse. If Huakai now has a god horse, he can run through the air all the time. Lock up. Black Eagle suddenly accelerate the opponents. More than a dozen people did not expect that Huakai's speed could be as fast as Ascension. When Huakai came to the right side of the track, only 2 of them had time to contain them. Huakai rushed forward. He caught up with the 2 in front of him and used Kongming boxing to fist close to the other 2, and the 3 fought together. Huakai fisted to the flesh, and a Chi training rider who was hitting 3 punches vomited blood. The opponent saw that he was unable to resist Huakai's attack and hurriedly stepped aside. In order to stop a strong man, it was not worthwhile to cause himself to be seriously injured. Seeing the effect of the attack, Huakai killed another blocker on his knees. This blocker was still relatively tenacious. He was attacked until he vomited blood and refused to give way. He had to continue his attack until the opponent dismounted. Seeing all the other Chi training riders approaching him, Huakai did not evade. The victory over the 2 blockers just now made him very excited. He turned his horse's head and rushed towards the other a dozen people. The field suddenly became chaotic. The shouts of the audience outside the field had become hoarse. All the girls in the stands raised their hands to cheer for him, and Urantuya was the happiest, jumping in the front. Wakai Truchi is covered all over his body. He has a purple golden ice silkworm armor body. It is a storm of attack when he rushes into the opponent's crowd. At a time, many riders fall off the horse, and more than a dozen riders cannot stop Wakai's charge. Feeling that everyone was beginning to give in, Wakai found that he had come to the front of the queue, and he did not pursue the opponent's horse and began to move on. Despite the Truchi body care, Huakai still felt a sore body, which made people excited. For a while, Shantian Truchi swam through his body. Wakai felt that his body pain was gone. Shantian Truchi was more powerful than ordinary Truchi. He continued to rush upwards on horseback. All the riders of Huakai were beaten up and down. Someone slowly saw Huakai and began to evade. Huakai rode the Black Eagle into the inner road, and the riders in front of them all evaded when they saw it. Coming to the stand again, Wakai looked up at the most eye-catching Urantuya in the center of the stage. She saw that she was shouting loudly. The horse racing festival is such an atmosphere. All the people present cannot help being like men infected by the heat of blood. Wakai became the most dazzling existence of all riders. A soldier raised a placard in front to remind that only the last lap was left. Huakai saw that no other rider dared to approach him anymore, so he stopped injecting Truchi into Black Eagle. Black Eagle was only helpful for BMW to bear Shantian Truchi. It has its own breakthrough, but too much exposure to Shantian Truchi also affects its body. Passing through the stands again, Wakai saw that a fork in the road was let go, and there was also a stand in front of the fork. Wakai saw many people waiting for him under the stands. After running 10 laps and hundreds of miles in one breath, Huakai spent about an hour, stopping Ma Shen Huakai and seeing Urantuya beckoning to himself from the distant stands. At this time, a brocade dress with a golden rim, the man in the robe, came to him, and Wakai knew that he was Urantuya's father and the master of the Ujumchin tribe by looking at the other person's dress. Wakai, you performed very well and defeated all the competitors. This is the honor you deserve. The other party came to Wakai and put a white hata on his neck, congratulating him. Everyone shouted Wakai's name together, and he was surrounded by everyone on the stand. This stand corresponds exactly to the stands of the girls in the distance. The distance between the two sides is about 100 meters. Only the rider who has run 10 laps has the right to board. The stand design is also very particular. The fan-shaped stands are painted with squares, and each square is written with a number. Huakai sees the sign of 1 at the front and stands on the top. 44%. Chapter 251, The Girls' Performance. Wakai was the first to board the men's stand. The girls in the distance all waved and shouted at him. Urantuya at the front of the team was the most excited. The other players on the field continued. Some of the players who fell off the horse resumed off the field and continued to start the game. Everyone saw that someone had succeeded on the stage, and there was less fighting with each other. They were all focused on running the race quickly. After waiting for half an hour, the second rider finally took the stage. He just wanted to contain Huakai's last youth who chose to give up. Everyone on the field tried hard to die, and now he came to Huakai with a smile on the stand. Brother, you are the best young man I have ever met. I originally thought that I would be the first to win this time. It was God's will to meet you. For whom did my brother come this time, Princess Urantuya? The young man seemed to be a few years older than Huakai, so he came to Huakai and asked. I promised others that participating in the horse racing festival is just for fun. You should also come for Urantuya. Wakai replied. I'm here for the Princess Yatu of the Taram tribe. We all agreed. This time I participated in the horse racing festival and won the first place. She promised to marry me. This time I got the top spot by your brother. I don't know Yatu. Will you forgive me? The young man said distressedly while looking at the woman's stand. Wakai shook his head. All these men came here basically with goals. Many people just came to hope to get blessings from everyone. He never thought about going on a blind date here. Urantuya has a special status. Even if he has a good impression of the other party, it is impossible for him to leave the family and join the Ujumukan tribe, even if he is allowed to become the king of the Great Moon Kingdom in the future. The waiting time was longer than Huakai expected. 2 hours later, there were riders completing the race. At this time, the girls on the stand had lost all their energy and started to find a place to sit down and chat with each other. The men also discussed with each other what they wanted to pursue this time. If the two people have the same goals, no one will be hostile. Instead, they will talk more passionately. After noon, more than 100 people in the men's stand had completed the race, and the rest were small and medium tribe players who rode down their horses. Some of them also had the Kaiyuan realm, and it was good for them to complete the race. The audience also lost interest at this time. Many people who watched left the field and went to the market to buy lunch. Huakai waited boredly for all the players in the field to finish the game. An hour later, more than 200 knights completed the race, and the riders on the track became sparse. At this time, the host announced that today's horse race was over, and in the afternoon they could watch the girls' riding performances. Riders who have not completed the schedule will not be able to board the stands. They can only stand on both sides of the stands under the stands to participate in the next show, or leave the stands to become spectators. The organizer of the event led all the male players who completed the schedule to a tent group on the side of the open space in the center of the stadium. This is a tent specially prepared for them. There is a white cloth not far from the tent where they are located. The white cloth is made up of pieces of white cloth. It's like drying clothes. Not far from Bai Bulin was the girls' tent. At this time, someone had already sent them exquisite lamb chops and butter tea. They ate the lamb chops and listened to the gentle discussion among the men. Everyone's positions have been determined at the end of today's horse racing. The afternoon is just the time for the girls to perform. It is a time for everyone to get to know each other. Tomorrow is the time when the boys and girls will actually meet. Quite interesting. After lunch, everyone had their own tent to rest, but Huakai lay in the tent and heard everyone talking around, and vaguely heard the noise coming from the girls' tent, which made these young boys they can't sleep even more. Huakai closed his eyes and rested his mind. This place couldn't enter the family secret realm space to rest. He waited until the sun was no longer so venomous in the afternoon, and an event organizer began to call everyone out. It was time to watch the girls perform. When Huakai followed everyone to the stands, he found that many railings of the racecourse had been removed, and there was no barrier between the male and female stands. The boys saw here one by one cheering at each other's stands. But this afternoon all the girls suddenly became very quiet. One by one they got off the stands and stood in formation on the grass. There was a sound of music in the distance, and the girls began to dance. This is a dance only learned by noble girls on the grassland. The whole dance is warm and generous. The boys watched the enthusiastic performances of the girls under the stage earnestly. Warentuya led the dance alone at the forefront, and she seemed to be the most beautiful on the grassland. The flowers attracted everyone's attention. With her exquisite and tall figure, coupled with that beautiful face, she is the most beautiful existence on this grassland. All the girls were eclipsed compared to her. Huakai quietly admired the dance in front of her. Urantuya turned her head to look at him from time to time. Standing in the main front position on the stands, Huakai could easily see the movements of all the girls in the distance. At the end of the song, the girls went off to change their clothes. The boys all started talking in the stands about which girl was more beautiful and the dance was more beautiful. Most people's topics couldn't get around Urantuya. Everyone was eager to get it this time. The goodwill of Urantuya. As long as they are single tribal nobles, they have the right to participate in the horse racing festival, but not everyone can find their favorite half in this grand event. Everyone thinks that it is not easy for Princess Urantuya to participate in the horse racing festival this year. No one thinks that she will choose her own partner when she is 16 years old. When the girls came to the racetrack again, they had already put on tight clothes and rode on their horses, showing the boys a different sassy air. There are also some obstacle courses in their equestrian performances, but the difficulty is much smaller, but the boys who also watched cheered. When all the girls have finished showing, someone prompts everyone to come out. Next comes the men's and women's equestrian show. Many boys can't wait. Huakai was the first to walk down the stands and came to Black Eagle. Everyone took their own horses and turned on their horses after a burst of music, and they lined up towards the girl. Riding Black Eagle to come in front of Urantuya, Urantuya looked at him with a smile. The two rode side by side together, and there was cheers from outside the racecourse. All men and women formed a pair according to the rankings and walked slowly along the racecourse. This was the first time that everyone had contact, and many men and women couldn't wait to talk at this time. How is it? Warentuya rode Zhaohong and walked side by side with Huakai. How about what? Huakai asked while looking at her. Horse racing festival. You won the first place today. Urantuya said happily. So I can be here as your partner. Hua Kai said. I saw you laughing today. You also like the horse racing festival, don't you? We girls have been preparing for this festival since we were 6 years old. Many people sew their own clothes, stitch by stitch. Yes, Yurantuya said dissatisfied. Huakai heard what many people said about the horse racing festival today. He knew that the horse racing festival was the most important event in the Dayu kingdom. He was also honored to experience the excitement of the horse racing festival. Come on, give me your hand, Yurantuya said to Wakai. What are you doing? Wakai looked at Warentuya. I'm very satisfied with your performance today, it's a reward for you. Warentuya couldn't help but be happy when she looked at Wakai's appearance. No need, you are the princess of the Ujumchin tribe. Hey, Wakai was saying. Yurantuya had already come up and grabbed his hand, and then many young men and women behind him cheered. The audience outside the venue was cheering for the lively enthusiasm of Princess Yurantuya. The men and women on the prairie do not hide their own feelings, they like it, but they just can't stand it. They hate Zero today. Why is it not the number one? Own. After the show had gone through thousands of times, Wakai found that Yurantuya had taken him to the middle of the racecourse. There had been a bonfire here, and more than a dozen whole lambs were being roasted on the grill. Wakai looked back and saw that many male and female partners behind him were already holding hands. It is allowed for prairie men and women to hold hands with the opposite sex before they get married. At the bonfire site, Yurantuya reminded Huakai to help him dismount. After dismounting, Huakai watched the men behind him dismount first, and then help the girls dismount. Today's activities are almost over when they are here, and the next thing is their campfire carnival. The racecourse does not allow other personnel to enter, and everyone can communicate freely at this time. When we came to a roasted whole lamb, Wakai saw that there were a lot of small blankets. On the blankets were some prairie-specific fruits and some mare's milk wine. Wakai was about to sit down when a boy who seemed to be in his 20s came to Yurantuya with a plate. Beautiful Princess Yurantuya, I am Urajan Dali from the Silage tribe, can I invite you to dinner? The man smiled and came to Yurantuya and invited him. Warentuya glanced at Wakai and saw him look indifferent. She came to Wakai and took his arm gently and pinched him. Wakai turned his head and looked at the man who nodded gently, and was about to cut the meat. Sorry, I have a companion. Seeing Wakai silently, Warentuya politely refused the man's invitation. Excuse me. The man didn't seem to mind at all, and left politely with a smile. Warentuya turned her head and said that she was angry. Wakai ignored the cut of a plate of meat and brought it to the edge of the carpet to sit down and eat, but was snatched by Yurantuya. Don't you know that men should help girls cut meat? Someone invites me. You should come forward and stop them. No. You can't please girls. Yurantuya took a bite of mutton fiercely, and said to him dissatisfied. 44%. Chapter 252. You said let me accompany you to the horse racing festival, but you didn't say let me help you block other people's pursuit. Wakai saw that own barbecue was taken away, and got up to cut a plate for himself. Then you don't like me. Are you afraid that I will be snatched away by others? Warentuya felt wrong after she said it. Her heart suddenly jumped. This was the first time she had said such words to Wakai. Waiting for Wakai's answer, Warentuya was worried, but Wakai just ate the barbecue on his plate. Huakai felt that Yurantuya put his arms in his arms and leaned on his shoulders and looked at the sunset in the sky. He knew what the other party was thinking, but both of them had own responsibility on their shoulders, who can't put it down. The men and women who stared at Huakai and Yurantuya in the distance were surprised to see the closeness of the two. It seemed that they had no chance this time. They thought Huakai was chosen by the chief Ujumukan for Yurantuya. Her son-in-law, Princess Yurantuya's partner may have been said at the beginning of the horse racing festival. Wakai and Yurantuya watched the sunset glow in the sky together. He felt Yurantuya's heartbeat and knew what the girl in front of him felt about him, but Huakai knew that he did not belong to the Great Moon Kingdom. In the center of the racecourse, there are pairs of young men and women sitting on the carpet. If they don't find a suitable partner, they will get up and walk around the bonfire. If they find it suitable, they will invite her to have dinner together. Yurantuya leaned on Huakai's shoulder and held Huakai's hand with her left hand. She watched Huakai quietly looking at the sky, and slowly put her head to Huakai's ear. You will stay with me for 3 days. Okay. Huakai trembles a little when he hears Warentuya's voice, and both of them know that the other cannot give up their own family. Yeah, Wakai replied this time. Then I want to drink spirit wine. I don't want to drink any more wine after drinking your spirit wine. Warentuya rubbed her eyes and said to Wakai. When the horse racing festival is over, I will leave some more for you. Wakai said, taking out the Baoguang glass bottle and pour a glass for him and Warentuya alone. With the passage of time, the night gradually approached, and a couple of men and women held hands by the bonfire to sing the song of the grassland. They danced a festive dance around the bonfire, and Warentuya saw Huakai joined here when he saw it. The joyful laughter was always short-lived. Soon the old man in charge of the horse racing came over and reminded everyone that it was time for the party to end, and everyone would meet again tomorrow. All men and women say goodbye to each other politely. Today is the first time everyone knows each other. As for how they feel about each other, it can only depend on tomorrow. Huakai lay on the blanket at night, with the sound of Urantuya crying in his ears and his heart. He knew that a large part of this was because of Urantuya's talent. The beloved of heaven and earth cry for you, and you can live comfortably. That's strange. When I woke up the next day, the weather outside the tent was still sunny. Huakai had breakfast early and came to the stands with all the excited boys. Many people who sang well planned to impress their favorite girls with their singing today. When they came to the platform, they saw more spectators outside the racecourse than yesterday. Everyone is clearing their throats. Today is the most important thing for blind daters. Even if they stand in the back position, men who use singing to impress girls abound. The girls came later than the boys. Today, many of them have put on makeup, and they look very eye-catching in festive gowns. When the last girl came to the stage, the audience outside the court suddenly became silent, and everyone was attentively waiting for the start of the antiphonal match. At this time, a gentle song came, and it drifted across the earth like a spring breeze. Everyone seemed to plant a spring seed in their hearts, and they began to grow and sprout slowly, condensing the power of spring. This song is like a lively bird, flying past everyone's heart and leaving behind an indelible figure. Everyone is immersed in this wonderful song. Wakai looked at the wonderful figure in the distance, and couldn't help it. With emotion, Warentuya is called the most dazzling pearl on the grassland, which is not too much. After Urantuya sang, all the girls began to sing a chorus. More than 200 girls sang the oldest ballad on the grassland, singing their yearning for the beautiful love in their hearts. All the boys were enthusiastic about it. Huakai never I thought that the girl chorus could be so good. He even felt that the whole world was affected by this ancient ballad. He couldn't help but think that the most primitive tribe of the grassland would survive and multiply here. Finding a happy object is their most important task as the ruling class of the grassland. The boys' emotions are slowly affected. When all the girls have finished singing, Wakai knows that it is time for him to play. He is number one on the men's team, and today the men's team is naturally led by him. Galloping horses are driving on the endless grassland. The eagle looking at the sky, I miss the girl far away. Huakai's voice is pure and melodious, especially the long tune part is very good, not much inferior to Urantuya's singing. This section is also a song that must be sung at the beginning. Huakai has learned from Urantuya. Wakai sang along with all the boys in a chorus. At the beginning, everyone sang their vision for a better life in the future, and then turned into a happy and relaxed tune. When everyone finished singing, another long singing voice came from Urantuya opposite. All the boys sang back together. The voices were neat and full of vitality. Wakai went on to sing, and all the other girls sang back. This is actually a traditional method of probing. When a person sings, what song to sing represents the requirements of his goal. This Huakai and Urantuya have learned dozens of songs, and everyone sings them. A paragraph. After Wakai sang, the girl on the opposite side began to sing. Half of the boys did not sing back this time, which shows that many people have no interest in number 2. Number 2 boys sang, and only half of the girls responded. The response represents the popularity of a person, and also tells you who is not interesting to you. You can choose carefully in the future. Huakai and Urantuya just sang at the beginning and they didn't make a sound. Both of them were in the number 1 position. It was very bad for them to do so. Standing at the forefront affected the overall singing effect. The number of people who responded to the song began to decrease. After more than 20 people, a man sang and the other party did not respond. This is the end of the song. When it came to the man, it was broken, and the woman continued. Urantuya sang first. All the boys sang back. Wakai sang along, and the girls sang back. Follow this order and keep going down. If someone sings again and no one replies, then he has no right to continue singing in the future, only the right to reply. From here, you can see the popularity of a person. Many male and female songs have matched the selected target, and they have gradually reduced their antiphonal songs with other people. In the end, they basically have the top 10 antiphonal songs. No more than 100 people responded, and occasionally the ones that got stuck would start over again. Eliminating one person over and over in 2 minutes was actually very fast. As a result, more than 2 hours passed. The man eliminated more than 80 people. No one of the women was eliminated. The eliminated person cannot be considered as a blind date at the horse racing festival. Tomorrow they can woo the girl they like. But the opportunity to perform tomorrow has been lost. Every year at the horse racing festival, the top 10 men can guarantee that they will not be eliminated. Girls rarely sing against a man unless she is ugly. For 2 hours of antiphonal songs, some people who feel that their goals have been determined will no longer sing solo, so the speed of antiphonal songs will be much faster. Hua Kai stood silently in the stands. Like a mascot, the boys would pass on songs from time to time and received no response. Sometimes no one would like to lead the song, and then the next person continued to sing. Finally, when the boys finished their last song, the audience did not respond for a long time. This time it was Hua Kai's turn to sing. At the end of the round, most of the boys were out, but this was only the first time. Hua Kai sang only half of the other people's response this time. Yurantuya still sang and all the men responded. This continued until the last boy sang, but there was no break. The remaining girls started singing one by one. Basically get a response from boys. When the last girl puts out a song and gets back songs from several men, the antiphonal song in the morning is basically over, and in the afternoon it is a personal song show. All those who have not been eliminated will have the opportunity to show their own talent, which will affect the final choice tomorrow. It will be very big. Prairie people like to watch such scenes of young men and women singing to each other. From everyone's singing, everyone can hear each other's state and desires clearly. Sometimes I see someone singing, and there will be a wave of replies outside the racecourse, and everyone commented on the advantages and disadvantages of every man and woman singing on the stage. In the afternoon, the venue changed to the place where the bonfire party was last night. At this time, everyone knew who was interesting to them and who they could fight for. When I met, everyone also exchanged ideas between men and women to sit down, forming a big circle and sitting in 2 rows. The front row was the one who insisted on performing in the morning until the end, and the audience was in the back row. Yurantuya still chose to sit next to Hua Kai. Everyone knew their relationship at this time. They were almost the first men and women and finally chose to be together. In the past, the ratio of men and women in the first pair was very large. Everyone sat down, and Yurantuya was the first to play. She took a hukin from the rear and went to the center to play. Everyone listened quietly. This is a new tune. It sings the yearning for a beautiful life in the grassland. It may have been specially created for her by the Ujumchin tribe. As the princess of the largest tribe in the Dayu country, she participated in the horse racing festival. It was arranged early. After Yurantuya played, everyone gave a warm applause. She got up and returned to Hua Kai. Hua Kai chose a song, Hello, Prairie, which was a grassland song that he liked more in his previous life. The instrument he uses is saihu, which can play multiple ranges of musical instruments to better express the unique beauty of the grassland. No one would have thought that Hua Kai would use one of the most difficult instruments in the grassland, saihu, and his sings are no worse than Yurantuya's charm. Everyone can't help but look at the happy Yurantuya. In fact, everyone felt that he and Yurantuya were the most suitable. 45%. Chapter 253. During the horse racing festival, all men and women are immersed in the ocean of joy. The men and women who can complete the antithetical song today and stay in the stands have the right to perform in order. This is their last chance to show themselves. Tomorrow is the final stage of selection. The men and women who are eager to find the other half of their lives have begun to observe each individual's performance carefully, looking for the most suitable existence for own. Because many people gave up the opportunity to perform and show up, when the sun was about to set, a bonfire rose again on the grassland. Now everyone can move freely and find people they like to talk to. This determines who they will choose tomorrow. Hua Kai finally knows what the white brin is in the middle of the male and female tent area. Some good men and women will go to Bibulan area to have a deeper understanding. Before the end of the afternoon performance, Hua Kai saw many men and women walking around on the grass, and many people held hands to enter Bibulan, which began in this sacred festival. The sailing of one's own love. Shall we go in and take a look? Yurantuya suggested, taking Hua Kai's hand. What are you going to see? Hua Kai asked puzzledly. Bai Bulin represents the most beautiful sacred's love. Yurantuya said, pulling Hua Kai to go to Bai Bulin. Hua Kai got up and the two entered Bai Bulin. There is really nothing good to see here. Many men and women chat quietly in the corner. The function here is only to prevent them from being influenced by other suitors and have a chance to deepen mutual understanding. Someone saw Yurantuya and Huakai also come in, and they both gave them festive blessings, and they thanked them politely. Yurantuya heard a group of men and women communicating in a low voice, looked at Wakai and took him to the other side of the white cloth to eavesdrop. The other side found out that someone had left here. There are also some single men and women wandering around in Babylon alone. It is as big as a maze. Perhaps one occasional encounter here can lead to a couple of newcomers. Yurantuya is very happy to play in it. When the sky slowly dimmed, the two left Babylon and saw that many people had already eaten dinner by the campfire. Some people showed their own talents in the crowd with their own musical instruments. Wakai also saw people with metaphors and wrestling, even though many people participate in horse festival not necessarily to find a suitable other half, but everyone enjoys the excitement of the festival. The carnival continued until late, when the bonfire slowly went out, and the boys and girls said goodbye to each other and returned to the tent to wait for the last moment of tomorrow. An inexplicable sense of crisis arose in Wakai's heart while lying in the tent. He calmed down to feel the cause of the crisis, but there was no result. He entered the family secret realm space to discuss with family members. There was none in Guangxian, Jialiu County, and Caravan. Finding any crisis out of the family secret realm space, the sense of crisis became stronger and stronger, and Wakai couldn't sleep peacefully lying on the blanket. Suddenly a scream broke the tranquility of the night. Wakai heard the call coming from the direction of the girls' camp. He got up and took out the silver gun out of the tent. There was a roar of beasts in the bright moonlight, and there was a fight in front of him. Wakai was worried about Yurantuya's safety. He didn't have time to get the black eagle, and hurried to the girls' tent. He saw a huge white leopard over 4 meters long entangled with several soldiers, the white leopard. He swooped at a soldier, and the soldier was shot more than 10 meters away. It was obvious that he could not survive. Wakai ran outside the girls' tent and saw that many boys had already come with weapons. Everyone surrounded the white leopard, but the white leopard was so powerful that everyone was obviously not an opponent. Yurantuya's tent was the first one in the first row and it was easy to find. When Wakai found her, she saw that she had put on her own leather armor and rushed towards the white leopard with a spear. Huakai chased Yurantuya. At this time, the old man of the horse racing festival finally came from afar. Huakai looked at the white giant leopard's strength should be beyond the category of brutal beasts. He didn't understand how demonic beasts could enter Yurantuya, the core area of the Chomokan tribe. That is clouded leopard, don't attack everyone. As soon as Wakai came to Yurantuya, he heard Yurantuya yell. Many people who approached clouded leopard also stopped at this time, but this clouded leopard seemed to have been angered and killed the nearest crowd. Suddenly many people died under its claws. The old man who came to support flew into the air and stopped here when he saw it. In the Great Moon Kingdom, clouded leopard is the sacred beast of the snow-capped mountains, more mysterious than the eagle. They generally only live on the top of the snow-capped mountains and leap between the snow-capped mountains all the year round, so they are called clouded leopards. Clouded leopard generally adults will have low-level demonic beasts. If a tribe provokes them, they will be greeted by several clouded leopards who are constantly infested. Therefore, no one on the grassland dare to attack clouded leopard. You're still moving forward, don't die. Wakai came to Yurantuya and saw her throwing a spear and started walking towards clear cloud leopard. He stepped forward and grabbed her and said, I must step forward to stop it. If there are more people from the tribe later, it will be even more violent. Yurantuya shouted to Huakai. But you only have the pneumatic cultivation base, how to stop it, you go up to die. Then you can't watch it keep going like this. If it attracts more clear cloud leopards, our tribe will be in danger. Yurantuya said without Huakai's pull. When Wakai saw this place, he had to follow Yurantuya slowly, and in case Yurantuya was in danger, he could still help stop passing cloud leopard for a while. Don't worry about me, this clouded leopard may just stray into our tribe. It is not malicious to me. It won't hurt me. Yurantuya told Huakai to stop and stay away from herself, and said to him, How can there be no malice? That clouded leopard has killed at least more than 30 people, haven't you seen everyone at large? It's good luck for Yurantuya to go up without being bitten to death. At this time, Wakai saw a crossing cloud leopard and seemed to take a look at Urantuya, but it ignored Urantuya and continued to kill the surrounding crowd. Stop, stop, Urantuya said softly to crossing cloud leopard as she walked towards it. The clearing cloud leopard seemed to have heard Urantuya's cry and stopped to look at her, barked his mouth and snarled at her, and continued to kill him. Clouded leopard is still hunting and killing the crowd. Many girls screamed and fled. This kind of screams and noise even stimulated clouded leopard and made it beastly. The old man who rushed to see here could only kill clouded leopard. He must prevent clouded leopard from stopping. The young people here are all the most important core lineages of the Great Moon Kingdom. The old man fought with crossed leopard, but he was not an opponent at all. Huakai saw that this old man, also known as the Shantian Realm Zochin cultivation base, could not last long in the face of the strength of the foundation building realm clear cloud leopard. Everyone took the opportunity to flee. Some men in the aura training realm slowly approached clouded leopard with weapons. Huakai was seriously injured by clouded leopard when he saw the old man after a few breaths. The Ujumukan tribe master wanted to support it. It will take some time, he has to make a move. At this time, Warentuya had come to crossing cloud leopard for 10 meters. Huakai held Yinliang gun and crossed in front of Warentuya to kill crossing cloud leopard. He only hoped that he could hold on for a while. The master of the Ujumchin tribe arrives. Faced with clouded leopard, Wakai found that own silver spear is difficult to cause damage to the opponent. This demonic beast's defense is still difficult to break for a Shantian realm. However, his ice force's influence on clouded leopard seems to be obvious, its speed is significantly reduced, and its attack power seems to be not so strong. Wakai had an illusion that clouded leopard didn't want to hurt himself. Every time he attacked the opponent, he just tried to avoid it and tried to use ice force. Wakai found that the opponent's mood seemed to slowly stabilize. Everyone was surprised to see this place. Even the organizer of the horse festival and the old man who was one of the strongest masters of the Ujumchin tribe could not stop Clear Cloud Leopard's attack, while Wakai was alone with Clear Cloud Leopard. But the battle is intractable. The people who originally wanted to step forward to help stopped seeing this place, and they quickly guided all the girls to evacuate, in case Clouded Leopard escaped from Wakai's entanglement and killed him. Wakai felt that Clouded Leopard seemed to have stabilized his emotions. Several times he showed serious flaws. Clouded Leopard did not choose to attack. Knowing that the opponent did not want to hurt him, he threw the silver gun and raised his fist. Attack towards wearing Cloud Leopard. In fact, Huakai gave up his weapon to give Clouded Leopard more ice force so that it might be completely quiet. This matter was changed in the eyes of other people on the periphery. Wakai was hitting a demonic beast's level Clouded Leopard alone, and slowly the Clouded Leopard was beaten down, and there was no more raging at the beginning. In the end, Wakai seemed to feel uncomfortable. He lost his weapon and went to fight with Clouded Leopard. This crazy behavior surprised everyone. Everyone couldn't help but start to sigh. No wonder King Ujumukan would be willing to recruit Huakai as his son-in-law. With such a powerful strength, I am afraid that the most powerful sacrifice in the temple under Shenying Mountain can't compare. Yesterday they raced together to surround Huakai. Thanks to the other side not caring about it, otherwise they would all be dead now. Wakai saw an opportunity and swooped to hug Clouded Leopard. Ice force was continuously injected into his body. He felt that Clouded Leopard was stunned, but quickly got rid of his entanglement. In the end, I didn't really hurt myself a bit. Wakai was thrown a few meters away by Clouded Leopard. He saw Urantuya come up from behind him and lift him up, looking at him worriedly. I'm fine. Wakai saw Clouded Leopard standing in the distance and baring his teeth constantly roaring. Ice force seemed to have completely suppressed its ferocity. Clear Cloud Leopard is a sacred beast in the Snow Mountain. It has always protected the herdsmen under the Snow Mountain. There must be a reason why it attacked our tribe this time. I am the princess of the Ujumchin tribe and a low-level sacrifice in the temple. Attacking the temple worshippers, Urantuya came to Wakai and said to him. 45%. Chapter 254. Seeing Clouded Leopard roaring at everyone vigilantly, there is no longer the violent kind of attack when they first saw people. Everyone stared at it from a distance, just hoping that it could leave soon. For the holy beast, if someone accidentally encounters it on the snow-capped mountain, it is auspicious, but if it appears in the human tribe, it is a disaster. Don't come near. Wakai watched Warentuya approaching Clouded Leopard step by step, and stepped forward to hold her. It was a fluke that he could suppress Clouded Leopard just now. He really wanted to fight him. It is not certain whether Huakai can handle the 3 tricks of Clear Cloud Leopard. If it really angers the opponent, many people today are afraid that they will suffer. I am a temple sacrifice. The holy beast will not attack the sacrifice. It has been quiet now. You can rest assured that it will not hurt me, Urantuya said to Huakai. Huakai remembered that Clouded Leopard had been deliberately staying away from Urantuya's position just now, and thinking about Urantuya's talent, he would not stop it anymore. Seeing Urantuya slowly approaching crossing Cloud Leopard, Huakai closely followed Urantuya and slowly approaching crossing Cloud Leopard. The other party saw the two coming over and just yelled at them, and the body kept going. Back. It doesn't want you to approach, you stay here. Urantuya turned to Huakai when she saw the reaction of Cloud Leopard. Huakai didn't know how she could see that Clouded Leopard was resisting the owner, but when he stopped, Clouded Leopard actually stopped roaring. Without hostility, Huakai stopped to observe carefully when he saw this place, ready to rescue Urantuya at any time. At this time, a large group of people came from the direction of the Ujumchin tribe. Huakai saw Urantuya's father and king at the front. He brought the powerful Ujumchin tribe behind him and saw Urantuya. Being so close to Clouded Leopard, they dare not get close to anger Clouded Leopard for fear that Urantuya will be harmed. Urantuya put all her thoughts on Clouded Leopard. While whispering to the other party, she slowly approached. Everyone around deliberately called her to be careful, but she was afraid that Clouded Leopard would be disturbed and irritate it. Both held their breath and dared not say anything. I saw that clearing Cloud Leopard whispered at Urantuya, but slowly backed away as Urantuya approached. Urantuya came to clearing Clouded Leopard and stopped 5 meters in front of her. No longer moving forward, crossing Cloud Leopard saw the place gradually calm down. A distance of 5 meters is just a leap for the Clouded Leopard with a body length of more than 4 meters. Everyone looked at Urantuya's heart and raised her throat, but saw that Urantuya continued to approach regardless of the low growl warning of Clouded Leopard. She kept coming to a position about 1 meter away from the other party and reached out her hand. Go and touch each other. Huakai saw that the pores all over his body were erected here, and he saw the Clouded Leopard who was taller than a horse. Although he kept roaring in his mouth, he kept avoiding and retreating, and did not attack Urantuya. Everyone felt a little relieved after seeing this. The Ujumchin tribe had also encountered sacred beasts going down the mountain to attack the tribe. At this time, the tribe high priest drove them away. The Ujumchin tribe has sent people to spread the letter to the temple, but it will take a long time to wait for the temple worship to arrive. It should be a small Clouded Leopard. It may have been running down the mountain because it could not find the own group. It is quiet now. Just now it came to our tribe and was frightened before attacking people. Wu Ren Tuya whispered to Clouded Leopard while speaking to Huakai behind her. Someone sent fresh lamb. Huakai sent it to Urantuya. He approached Clouded Leopard for 5 meters and it seemed to have the meaning of attacking own. Urantuya hurriedly stood in front of Clouded Leopard, wearing Clouded Leopard. Then it became quiet again. Handing the mutton into Urantuya's hands, Huakai suddenly remembered a spirit pill that had been rewarded in the main mission 5. This spirit pill system prompts that it can only be taken by spirit beasts, which can increase its spirituality. Huakai has always kept it in the space and has no chance to use it. Now it is not a spirit beast in front of him, why not let Urantuya try the effect? Huakai asked Urantuya to wait for himself, and after looking for a long time in the portable space, he found this Qingling pill which had been stored in the space for several years, and handed the Qingling pill to Urantuya's hands. Tuya looked at him curiously. This is a spirit pill, which is specially used for spirit beast. If you give it a try, it may have unexpected effects. Huakai said. Urantuya glanced at Huakai and took the Ling pill, but didn't want to walk to crossing Cloud Leopard. When the crossing Cloud Leopard saw Urantuya holding the spirit relief pill in her hand, she kept staring at the spirit pill and did not want to remove it. Urantuya put the whole sheep in front of it and ignored it. Do you want to eat this medicine pill? Then I'll give it to you. If you eat it, leave quickly and go to the snowy mountain to find your family. Urantuya stretched out her hand when she saw this, and put the Qingling pill on where the Clouded Leopard in front of it. Crossing Cloud Leopard got up and walked in front of Urantuya, taking the spirit pill from Urantuya's hands amidst everyone's worry, and eating it, it crawled directly at Urantuya's feet to rest without leaving. Urantuya went to stroke Clouded Leopard, and the other party no longer dodges. She was happy to stroke Clouded Leopard again. The other party actually half squinted her eyes as if she was asleep, as if she was about to fall into a deep sleep. Suddenly, Huakai felt the power of the ice rules around him became clear, and countless ice forces began to flow in their direction. Warentuya also seemed to feel wrong, and looked at Wakai in surprise. Wakai once experienced a similar scene. That time he not only understood the ice will, but also had a lot of ascension aptitude. He watched the ice of ice in the air gathered towards crossing Cloud Leopard. Huakai guessed that Clouded Leopard is undergoing a special transformation. Give Warentuya a relieved look. After about 2 minutes, Huakai felt that the power of the rules of heaven and earth gradually returned to normal, and crossing Cloud Leopard also slowly opened his eyes. When everyone was worried about whether crossing Cloud Leopard would attack Urantuya's intimate actions, then crossing Cloud Leopard actually responded to Urantuya's movements and rubbed her head intimately against her arm. Wakai, I seem to be. Breakthrough. Warentuya didn't pay attention to the crossed leopard who had been close to him at this time, but turned her head and said to Wakai. Breakthrough. What breakthrough? Wakai felt that perhaps it was the change of ice willpower that made her resonate, which caused the force of will to increase and thus breakthrough, but the situation was not what he imagined. I just entered the aerodynamic realm of Zochin, and I feel. Crossing Cloud Leopard. Has recognized me as the master. Urantuya said with certainty. Wakai approached crossing Cloud Leopard, but saw it blocking Warentuya's mouth and barking at him. It seems like, you can try to order it. Wakai suggested. Warentuya hasn't reacted to everything she experienced just now, and she can now feel the emotion of crossing Cloud Leopard. It was just a thought. Clear. Cloud Leopard actually stood up, then got up and turned around Urantuya. Urantuya let it squat down. It is also obedient hind legs squatting, just like an obedient child. It's very good. I think it can sense everything. Urantuya said to Wakai, who wanted to get closer. It seems that all guards have been put down. Crossing Cloud Leopard lying at the feet of Warentuya eating mutton, Wakai did not resist even when he approached it. Wakai came to Warentuya. It was as if he hadn't seen him at all in Clouded Leopard. He used Eye of Reality on Clouded Leopard. Cloud Leopard. 7th Order Spirit Beast. The Power of Ice. 3rd Layer 12%. Physique. 67. Agility. 69. Intelligence. 71. Skills. Mind Bondage, Leap, Cold Crampons, Crisis Sensing. Mind Ties. Share with the owner mental energy, and you can communicate with mental energy at will. Flying. Wearing Clouded Leopards has the ability to leap into the air. Frost Claw. Attacking the enemy can make the enemy be attacked by ice force, slowing down the opponent's reaction speed and agility. Crisis Sensing. When you and your owner are in danger, they can sense it for the first time. The strength of this Clouded Leopard has reached the late stage of foundation building, and his intelligence has reached 71 points, and it has reached the limit of foundation building. It will be much easier for it to be promoted to Gold Core in the future. Seeing this, Wakai was envious. If he didn't give this spirit relief pill to Warentuya, but to the core members of the Wa family, would the family have an extra foundation building spirit beast? But soon he denied this idea. Without Warentuya's spirit beast communication talent, the spirit beast can only be cultivated slowly from the cubs. Even if the Wa family is lucky to find the spirit beast cubs, the effect of taking the Qingling pill is still limited. Generally, it takes longer than human beings to grow spirit beasts from birth to foundation building. Crossing the Clouded Leopard, feeling that Wakai was investigating own, she stood up and yelled at Wakai angrily, and Warentuya stepped forward to appease it and calmed down again. All the audience at the scene silently watched the scene that happened before them. Crossing Cloud Leopard was in a state of violence not long ago, and the entire Ujumchin tribe would face disaster. In just a few minutes, it was like a puppy. Lying on Warentuya's side obediently, no one connected it to the Clouded Leopard that was still in the killing state just now. When the crisis was resolved, Huakai gave a message to the Patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe that Urantuya needed a remote tent, and she would continue to stay here with Clouded Leopard until the end of the horse racing festival. But the Patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe did not agree to her request. He asked Urantuya to return to the tribe with Cloud Leopard first, and then when Huakai finished talking with the Patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe, the strong stepped forward and surrounded Warentuya and Clouded Leopard. How could they agree that Warentuya would stay here with Clouded Leopard? 45%. Chapter 255. It is necessary to let Clear Cloud Leopard leave the racecourse area, otherwise all the princesses and princes of various tribes participating in the race festival will not be able to live here peacefully. Crossing Cloud Leopard to leave, Urantuya must follow it. The Shantian masters of the Ujamukan tribe surrounded Urantuya and Crossing Cloud Leopard and took her out of the racecourse slowly. Wakai looked at all this quietly. Tonight, some participating men and women were injured and some died in battle. The damaged tents were already being replaced. Huakai watched the quiet grassland return to his own tent, lying in the tent but unable to sleep for a long time. When the sun shined on the grassland again the next day, Huakai boarded the stands again with the boys. He looked at the other side's stand and found that Urantuya was not seen. What happened last night did not affect the continuation of today's horse racing festival. Today is the last and most important day of the horse racing festival. The grasslands are full of people dressed in costumes. Before today's show starts, it's just outside the stadium. Someone has already sang hometown songs to cheer for their cheering players. When the men and women arrive, the woman sings the courtship song in the stand, and after singing a sentence, all the men sing in response, so you have one sentence, and slowly the lyrics begin to become more and more direct. Everyone is immersed in the ocean of love. After the song, the next moment is the final choice. According to the regulations, Huakai should be the first to introduce himself today, and then see how many girls are willing to choose him. In these 3 days, everyone has a certain understanding of each other, but whether he can win the favor of the opposite sex, he needs to introduce himself. Just work. Is your family name the first heir? How old is the cultivation base? You can even tell how much the own family can pay, which at least shows the strength and sincerity of own. Everyone looked at Huakai at the front of the man's platform, and saw him slowly walking to the front, introducing himself. My family is in the Far East. It is about 10,000 miles away from here. The family grows rice and wheat. People live in the high walls. My family is not big, and it is like the whole Central Plains. A cow's hair in the cattle herd on the grassland is as insignificant. I hope that everybody can visit my hometown when I have the opportunity. Huakai said. The girls on the other side stands were not dissatisfied with Huakai's words, they cheered for Huakai loudly. Last night, Huakai's fight alone wearing a clouded leopard had already been heard among the girls. If they could marry Huakai, not to mention the family behind him, it's just that he alone is enough to suppress a big tribe, because they see that Huakai has a strength comparable to the foundation building. Huakai saw several girls coming down from each other's stands. Everyone cheered when they saw it. They came to Huakai and introduced themselves to him. All the girls made it clear that it was her who was married, and they would send them instead a generous dowry. These girls are all princesses of the big tribe. Today, Urantuya didn't show up before they dared to appear. After they finished talking one by one, they waited for Huakai's final choice. All men and women present have only one chance to play. As long as they play, whether they are selected or not, this year's horse racing festival is over. Huakai apologized to the girls in the audience, and the girls gave him an elegant noble girl gift, and then smiled and slowly stepped back. Next, the woman's current number 1 girl introduced herself. She introduced herself in detail. She introduced her family's grassland area, population, horses, cattle and sheep, and the number of slaves. Finally, even her uncle's family gave a detailed introduction. More than 10 men walked to the bottom of the women's stand. Huakai noticed that, except for one man who ranked 4th, the rest were men who had been eliminated early and had no right to choose. The girl finally chose the man's number 4. She stepped down and held hands with the man she chose, and everyone on and off the court gave them sincere blessings. Seeing that there are fewer and fewer people in the stands on both sides, Huakai is still standing on the man's number 1 position, and there are fewer and fewer men behind him. He has never stepped down. Everyone knows that he is waiting for Urantuya to arrive. Waiting until the last man left behind, the remaining girls on the woman's stand were all lost. They failed on a blind date this year. This is the end of this year's horse racing festival. Huakai saw a smile on the corner of his mouth. I have done what I promised you. It's time to leave in the afternoon. Black Eagle, I'll take it away. If you have a chance in this life, maybe I will see you again. Lee said softly. After getting off the stands, Huakai returned to the men's tent at the racecourse. Everyone here was also packing up and preparing to leave. Huakai pulled out the Black Eagle and left the racecourse, preparing to leave towards the east of the Ujumchin tribe. No one stopped him. When Huakai walked out of the Ujumchin tribe, the guard soldiers outside the tribe didn't even give him a second look. Riding on the Black Eagle, slowly walking on the grassland, the farther Huakai fared away from the Ujumchin tribe, the more he felt that something in his heart was getting farther and farther away from him. He knows that a large part of this is due to Urantuya's talent. When getting along with this kind of person who is spoiled by the world, the unexpected benefits will increase, but there is also a bit of a bad thing. Sad, you may not be well everywhere. Don't worry, let the Black Eagle walk alone. Huakai watched the cattle and sheep leisurely eating grass on the grassland and admired the scenery of the Ujumchin tribe. After walking for more than 30 miles, the sun is already westward and the temperature is no longer so hot. Huakai dismounted and gave Black Eagle some green fodder made from alfalfa spiritual herbs to replenish its energy and moved towards the east. Rushed. Huakai's heart was tense after not running for long. As soon as he slowed down, he saw a figure behind him rushing towards him. Warentuya rode Little Red to chase him, and Clear Cloud Leopard followed her. Huakai stopped the horse stance and got off the back of Black Eagle. He didn't expect that Urantuya would chase it out. In the Ujumukan tribe, she had better stay with the tribe and cultivate feelings and learn how to command in the tribe. He didn't expect that she would chase after her. When Huakai saw Urantuya again, he seemed to feel that the two had been separated for a long time. He stood on the grass and waited for each other to approach. A door in his heart seemed to be quietly opening. Urantuya got closer and closer to him, and Huakai could even see her crying red eyes. She rode to a distance of 100 meters from Huakai and did not slow down. When the distance between the two sides was only 10 meters, Small Red with a neigh, Warentuya quickly turned over and got off her horse. Seeing Huakai again, Urantuya couldn't help tears anymore, and ran towards Huakai with a cry. Huakai stood still and looked at the girl in front of her quietly, feeling a pain in her heart. Warentuya plunged directly into Huakai's arms, holding him tightly, unable to make a sound because of sobbing for a long time. I thought I would never see you again. Urantuya was lying on her face, and a large group of people came to him in the distance. The number of people was about tens of thousands. The two figures in the front were obviously Urantuya's father, the queen and mother. Urantuya, who was immersed in love, didn't seem to notice this. She held Huakai tightly and did not want to leave. The patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe and the high priest of the Shiniangshan temple came to a distance of 100 meters to stop the horse stance and looked at them quietly. Huakai saw tens of thousands of eyes in the distance, and knew that it was impossible to take Warentuya away. He separated from Warentuya and took her by the hand. What if I can get your father and queen to agree? Huakai said. Urantuya looked surprised. She seemed to want to say something but did not say anything in the end. She just leaned on Huakai's shoulder and gave an, At this time, everyone in the Ujumchin tribe seemed impatient to wait. They brought all the cavalry of the Ujumchin tribe and came slowly. The head of the Ujumchin tribe looked at Urantuya and sighed deeply. Baby girl, my princess, we should go back now. Crossing the clouded leopard, it seemed that he felt the dissatisfaction in the master's heart, and shouted at the patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe. Warentuya has been holding Huakai's arm and is reluctant to let go. For the father's words, it seems that she hasn't heard the clouds in the sky with ordinary eyes. Dear Ujumukan tribe patriarch, King Deu, I think we can talk about it. Huakai took Urantuya's hand and said to the Ujumukan tribe patriarch, I have to admit that you are the most outstanding young man I have ever seen. If Urantuya is not a princess, then I am very willing to marry her to you, but Urantuya is our Ujumukan tribe and even the entire Deu clan. Hope for the future of the country, so it is impossible for her to leave with you. If you are willing to stay, with Urantuya as your support, the entire Deu kingdom will become your backing, and it is not impossible to become a prairie overlord in the future. The patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe said to Huakai. Whether Warentuya can really bring prosperity to the Ujumchin tribe is still unknown. She may not be willing to go to the life you arranged for her. There are also own rules on the grassland. If I can offer a bride price, can you marry Urantuya? Huakai asked aloud. Everyone felt the self-confidence in the young man in front of them. If it weren't for Urantuya to take too much responsibility, they would definitely raise their hands in favor of Urantuya and Huakai being together. The dowry for Urantuya. I am afraid you can't get it out. If you really can come up with the dowry for Urantuya, I am willing to use the entire Ujumchin tribe as her dowry. Ujumukan the tribal chief took a look at Urantuya after speaking. As a father, how could he not want his daughter to be happy? But she was born in the royal family, and she was destined to give up some choices for the tribe from the very beginning. 45%. Chapter 256 Negotiations and Future Plans. Everyone listened quietly to the conversation between Huakai and the chief of the Ujumchin tribe, which may determine the future of the entire Ujumchin tribe. The sky gradually dimmed. Huakai rode behind the entire cavalry brigade and walked towards the Ujumchin tribe. Urantuya insisted on riding a horse with Huakai and she quietly leaned in Huakai's arms. When they returned to the tribe, the two came to the king's account of the Ujumchin tribe together. The patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe told everyone to retreat, leaving Huakai, Urantuya, the high priest of the temple, and himself. Urantuya, you also go out first. I will talk to your father and queen mother. Huakai said to Urantuya, who was still leaning on his shoulder. Urantuya looked at Huakai and her parents again. She felt a little worried in her heart, but she left the tent obediently. Urantuya told us that she was able to subdue clearing the cloud leopard because you gave her a medicine pill. If you think that you can marry the Ujumukan tribe by this alone, you think too much. Although the Ujumchin tribe is eager to have the foundation-building realm, the significance of Urantuya is far from comparable to that of a foundation-building realm. The Ujumchin tribe said to Huakai, I know that the medicine pill was completely given to Urantuya by me. It has nothing to do with the Ujumchin tribe. I think that the Shantian state of the Ujumchin tribe's patriarch has achieved great perfection. As soon as I entered the first floor, this Xuanbing pill serves as a meeting ceremony. You can take it first and then we will talk about the next thing. Huakai said that he took out one Xuanbing pill, he took 2 in Shenying Mountain, and now there are 2 more. The Ujumukan tribe respects Ice Will and thinks it is a magical gift given to them by God, strength. The patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe took a look at his queen, and the queen Warentuya walked over and took the Xuanbing pill from Huakai and took a closer look. Their temple is also a refining medicine, but this kind of pill pattern she has never seen the medicine pill. Feeling the majestic Ice Will in Xuanbing pill, Empress Warentuya nodded to the chief of the Ujumukan tribe. The chief of the Ujumukan tribe took the Xuanbing pill to the entrance and saw his whole body began to be enveloped in white frost. The patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe hurriedly sat cross-legged on the carpet, absorbing the power of Ice Will from Xuanbing pill. Huakai retreated and waited slowly. After more than 10 minutes, the patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe slowly opened her eyes, and the queen of Urantuya looked at him with concern, and saw her husband nodding to herself, and she smiled. Taking Xuanbing pill is also dangerous. If you can't resist the cold air in the spirit pill, you may be injured, and serious damage to the foundation may be possible. I have felt the shadow of the foundation building. It is not an exaggeration to say that this medicine pill is a god pill. Are you planning to use this god pill to trade with me to marry Urantuya? The kind of medicine pill you take? Patriarch Ujumukan asked while looking at Huakai. Both of these 2 medicine pills belong to very rare panacea, and the quantity is very rare. The effect of the panacea that Clear Cloud Leopard has taken is not as strong as it shows. Warentuya is able to subdue Clear Cloud Leopard completely, because she has the talent to get close to the spirit beast, and some ice force reasons. Now she already owns a foundation-building spirit beast, which has surpassed the limit that her mental energy can control. No amount of this medicine pill is of much use. Quote. Huakai said that the 2 nodded after listening. If this kind of medicine pill that can communicate the rules of the world spreads, will there be foundation-building masters everywhere that day? The 2 medicine pills of Huakai were given to the Ujumchin tribe with 2 foundation-building combat powers. You don't want Urantuya to marry away. You just hope that she can lead the entire Ujumchin tribe to become stronger. If I can give the Ujumchin tribe a greater future, can this be a way to marry Urantuya? The bride price. Give the Ujumchin tribe a bigger future. Boy, it is only you who dare to say this in the world. How can you give the Ujumchin tribe and the entire Dayu kingdom a future? Chief Chin said with a smile. The Great Moon Kingdom is one of the most powerful countries in the grassland, and the Ujumchin tribe is also the oldest and powerful tribe in the grassland. Although the foundation building is scarce and cannot be compared with the 7 major powers in the Central Plains, if you exclude the high-end combat power, its strength is not worse than that of the Central Plains medium-sized countries. I will stay in the Ujumchin tribe for a month, whether it can be used as a dowry to marry Urantuya, and then the Patriarch Ujumchin will judge by himself. Tomorrow, please gather all the important members of your tribe, as well as those with good qualifications. After tomorrow, you will consider what I said. Huakai replied. When Huakai left Wang's account, Chief Ujumukan looked at the queen behind him. Warentuya's mother was the wise man of the tribe. In fact, she decided many issues in the tribe in the end. As a good boy, there is nothing wrong with Urantuya marrying him. I told you before that we don't want to get involved too much about Urantuya's future. She is the darling of heaven and earth, and everything should be natural. Good. I didn't want to chase her this afternoon. I guess I'm a bad person in her heart now. Warentuya's mother complained. I can't do what you said. As the only successor of the Ujumchin tribe, Urantuya has to bear this. Tomorrow you will take her back to the temple first. Chief Ujumchin sighed, said. Wakai came out of Wang's account and saw Yurantuya waiting for herself outside the account. How did my father embarrass you? Warentuya asked worriedly. No, don't worry. I have made an appointment with your father, and I will stay in the Ujumchin tribe for a while, then he will definitely agree to marry me. Wakai looked at Yurantuya worriedly. Looks like, said comfortingly. I knew that my father would not easily agree. By the way, you haven't had dinner yet. I'll take you back to the account for dinner. Warentuya said, taking Huakai to her tent. Here is new. Setting up a tent looks no worse than Yurantuya's. All the decorations in the tent have been arranged neatly. Wakai smiled bitterly. He remembered that there was nothing here when he came back just now. The two ate dinner together. Warentuya and Huakai ate very fragrantly. It seemed that she did not eat this afternoon, and until late at night, Warentuya was reluctant to leave. At this time, several maids stood with their heads bowed. Behind Yurantuya, they have urged Yurantuya many times. You go back to the tent and rest. When we see you tomorrow, you will always worry if you don't leave your father and mother. We will spend a long time together in the future. Wakai said. Yurantuya nodded, got up and still reluctant to leave. She seemed to be afraid that Huakai would leave quietly when she left. Yurantuya had no confidence in convincing her father to agree to the marriage of the two of them. Wakai got up and hugged her. She left the tent happily. She could feel that Wakai cared about her. Seeing his self-confidence, Yurantuya began to believe that he could impress her own father. When Yurantuya left, Wakai lay in the tent and lost his thoughts. The Ujumchin tribe is an ancient tribe that is much stronger than the Ordos tribe. They live forever at the foot of the Tianshan Mountains and are interdependent with many ancient spirit beasts in the Tianshan Mountains. Even the Gold Core realm came here and they had to go down. If a cooperative relationship with the Ujumchin tribe can be established, it will be beneficial and harmless to the Wa family. The Wa family can continuously obtain cattle, horses, slaves, and even elixir and strange stones from here. The influence of the Ujumchin tribe will inevitably increase when it grows. The country closest to the central plains here is the state of Qin. For the Chinese in the east of the mainland, the strength of the Ujumchin tribe may be able to attract Qin more. With more troops, Huakai did not want Xinjiang to dominate the world. Qin's policy might be able to defeat the other 6 countries, but it did not bring any benefits to the people of the world, nor did it conform to the interests of the Wa family. Therefore, after the Wahia moved into Jialiu County, the best development model for the Wahia is to establish stable cooperative relations with the grassland countries, secretly strengthen its own strength, and try not to participate in the disputes of the Central Plains countries. This is also good for the entire grassland and the people of the Central Plains. The grassland had less willingness to invade the Central Plains with materials, and the people of the Central Plains avoided being conquered. Only in an age of peace can the common people have the possibility to speak in power, and the power of aristocratic families will not become more and more powerful. Therefore, it is very necessary to open up a new business road from Jialiu City to Ujumukan tribe. Huakai made a decision when he thought of here. He entered the family secret realm space and talked about the idea of own to all family members. Grandpa Washing also felt that the Ordos tribe could no longer meet the development needs of the Wa family. The Wa family now has an increasing population and needs more and more elixir and weapons. It can establish a relationship with such a large tribe as the Ujumchin tribe is necessary. Wakai also told Erzhuang and Shuichen that it would take him a month and a half to return to the Ordos tribe. They can now trade with the Ordos tribe in exchange for horses, cattle, sheep, slaves, fur, elixir, and strange stones, and wait until he comes back. Selecting a part of the slaves and returning home from the Ordos tribe in mid to late June, it is not a problem to rush back to Jialiu County at the end of October. Zhuang told Huakai that after Patriarch Tifa knew that he would come to their tribe this year, he had negotiated with other big tribes in the Zongnu country about buying slaves. In the past 4 years, the Ordos tribe has worked hard to train the tens of thousands of high-qualified slaves that Huakai selected for them. Now the Ordos tribe's aerospace members have increased by more than 1,000, and the training aura has also increased by more than 20. The entire tribe compares that. The strength has more than tripled 4 years ago. This is not to mention that the Ordos tribe added another Shantian realm this year. Now their tribe has 4 members in the Shantian realm, making it one of the most powerful tribes in the Zongnu nation. Even the number of affiliated tribes has more than tripled. 45%. Chapter 257 Wakai's Talent. In the early morning of the next day, after Wakai washed up, a maid brought him breakfast. After he finished his breakfast, the sun had slowly risen on the grassland, and he did not see Warentuya coming to him. When he arrived at the head of the Ujumchin Patriarch, Wang's tent, he saw that only Patriarch Ujumchin was in the tent. This morning Empress Warentuya took her to the Snow Mountain Temple. She is not very familiar with the control of Cloud Leopard, and she will definitely come back when you leave. Chief Wujumukin said to Huakai. Huakai knew that it was because the other party feared that Urantuya would have too much contact with him, and it gradually became that he did not agree that it would be useless for the two to be together. After all, Warentuya is still a few years away from the age of marriage. If they are tired of being together all day long, it will not affect them. I don't know what Patriarch Ujumukin prepared for what I said yesterday. Huakai asked. I have called all the 14 big banner owners and 39 small banner owners in the tribe, and they can be there by noon. There are also hundreds of outstanding young people in my tribe. They are all the most important members of the Ujumchin tribe. I heard that some scholars in the original can see the qualifications of a person, so that they can know to what extent they can cultivation in the future. Are you? Patriarch Ujumukin. Don't worry, I will give you an answer after I meet all of them. Huakai said in a salute. At noon, Huakai was resting in his tent. Without Urantuya, there was always something missing in the Ujumchin tribe. He didn't know what the chief Ujumchin promised to Urantuya before letting her go. Snow Mountain Temple, but as long as the plan is completed, the other party will have to agree to let Urantuya marry him even if he doesn't want to. A guard came to Huakai, saying that Patriarch Ujumukin invited him to the banquet. Huakai came to Wang tent and saw Patriarch Ujumukin hosting a banquet to entertain all banner owners. The banner owners of the Ujumchin tribe are all Shantian cultivation base, and the small banner owners are the late-stage cultivation base. Huakai guessed that they have at least 30 members above Shantian. This is the strength of the grassland super tribe. Chief Ujumchin introduced the tribe's banner owners and outstanding young people to Huakai. Huakai took a piece of paper and wrote down each of them's name, realm, aptitude, and loyalty. He found that among the 100 people there are 7 people with the above-mentioned qualifications. The background of this kind of tribe is not comparable to that of the average big tribe. In the evening, Huakai came to the head of the Wujumukin clan, Wangzheng, and saw him waiting there alone. Huakai handed him the list of personnel he found at noon today, and he listed all people loyally according to high school, low school, although the attributes he detected with true eye may not reflect the other party's loyalty to the Ujumchin tribe, but at least it has reference significance. Patriarch Ujumukin glanced around and put them together in his sleeve. Although there are not many things listed on this list, they represent extraordinary significance. If you let others see, Ujumu the medicine pill training program that the Chin tribe may suffer, but these medicine pills are not free and need to be exchanged for elixir and strange stones. Huakai said. The Ujumchin tribe has some treasures of elixir, but we don't have many strange stones in our collection. I heard that people in Zongyuan who can see their qualifications will consume a lot of their qualifications when they probe into others. You have checked hundreds of people today. I don't know how it is now. Patriarch Ujumukin looked at Huakai and asked. As long as the opponent's strength does not exceed the foundation building and does not resist my investigation, the consumption will not be great. Huakai whispered back. Well, that's good. I don't know if you can see more people tomorrow. If I can know which people in the tribe have good talents and focus on training, then I can save a lot of resources. Tomorrow I will let someone sort out the elixir and the strange stones. It will be sent to your tent. If you have any needs, you can ask the guards to notify me. Patriarch Ujumukin already regards Huakai as a distinguished guest. 5,000 people every day. Let them wait outside my tent. I will not watch the Central Plains slaves. Huakai said. You can view the attributes of 5,000 people a day, and you can view half of the attributes of the entire Ujumchin tribe in a month. Once the qualifications of the tribe members are fully grasped by the Ujumchin Patriarch, then the Ujumchin tribe's combat power will remain in the next few decades. In ascending, they have the protection of Shenying Mountain, and development with peace of mind is not a problem. When all young people are cultivated, it will be an unimaginable powerful combat force. It is Huakai's bottom line that he does not want to check the strength of the Central Plains slaves. He is not only to buy these slaves back to the Hua family in the future, but the important thing is that he is afraid that after these slaves really take refuge in the Ujumchin tribe, the thinking and manufacturing of the entire grassland, the craftsmanship has been changed by them, and then the world may really be in chaos. The next morning, when Huakai just got up, he saw a soldier delivered a sheepskin to his tent. Wakai opened it and saw that there were more than 40 names neatly arranged on it. These were all that Wakai told Ujumukin yesterday. The Patriarch has good qualifications and high loyalty. As for the accuracy of the information given by Huakai, Patriarch Ujumukin only needs to look at it, so he has great trust in Huakai. Huakai saw that the Patriarch Ujumukin also marked the 3 grades of high school and low on the list, and 5 members with S or higher qualifications and 2 with A+ qualifications were listed as the first category by him. Based on the realm and age of all the lists, Huakai listed the Strength Ascension plan for the next 3 years for the 7 first-class people. A total of more than 30 medicine pill plans of various levels. The medicine pill level can reach up to 9 grade Bayodan, which is enough their strength has improved by leaps and bounds in a few years. The second category is about 15 medicine pills per person. The highest level is no more than the 5th level of Bayodan, which is very different from the first category, but the strength will also get a significant ascension. The last category is mainly Pei Yuan Dan, small Huan Dan plus breakthrough medicine pill. Ascension can only depend on their own strength. Huakai probably calculated that there are 631 medicine pills in total, worth 370,000 gold, mainly because the price of Bayodan above the 3rd rank is too expensive, occupying more than 80% of the value of all medicine pills. After breakfast, Wakai saw the off-tent soldiers lined up one by one. They were all cultivation bases above the aerodynamic level, and they should be the elite of the Ujumchin tribe. Wakai sat on a chair outside the account and let everyone pass in front of him, and only when he saw those with qualifications above B+ appear, he asked the other party's name. After 3 hours, everyone was surveyed. There were 419 people with qualifications above B+, almost reaching a ratio of 10 to 1. These people were originally elites of the Ujumukan tribe, and Huakai saw that among them, there were not many with qualifications below C+, individual. At noon, Huakai slept and woke up, and it was almost evening. The outside guard heard the noise and came in and told Huakai that Patriarch Ujumukan had sent someone to bring both the elixir and the strange stone. Huakai also has guards now. A team of 30 people are all guards of the Ujumukan Patriarch, who came to listen to Huakai's dispatch. People took all the elixir and strange stones into the tent. Wakai saw that the number was not very large. There are 6 jade boxes in total, and Wakai opened them one by one. Among the 6 jade boxes, there are only 6 elixir, but the quantity is small and the quality is a big surprise to Huakai. There are 6 lingbao plants, 2 plants of the 6th rank, 3 plants of the 7th rank, and 1 plant is actually an 8th-rank elixir. Huakai discovered that there are 2 main medicines of the 7th rank ice crystal grass for refining Xuanbing pill. Huakai now has no shortage of elixir below 5th rank, and what he needs is the elixir of 6th rank and above that can refine the elixir. The value of these 6 elixirs is about 450,000 gold, especially the 8th-level elixir star Tianyuan Guo, which is the main medicine for refining the 8th-level elixir. Looking back at the strange stones sent by the chief Ujumukan, there are 3 pieces in total, one of which belongs to the extremely rare Xing Yaoshi, which can be used in treasure weapons and spiritual weapons. The other 2 pieces are good materials for forging ordinary soldiers, and there is no waste stone in the 3 strange stones. Huakai gave a total valuation of 560,000 gold to Elixir and Kistler, and the harvest was very good. Let everyone leave. Huakai will bring all the elixir into the family secret realm space, and the strange stones into the portable space, so that the guards will return all these jade boxes to the tribe. There are few forests in the Dayu kingdom, and wood resources are scarce, so it is very difficult to place the boxes of elixir, which is the main reason why they have less accumulation of elixir. When he came to Wangjiang, Huakai first handed over the list of all the personnel found today to Chief Ujumukan. The other party looked at it carefully, and his face couldn't help but smile. He did not expect that the tribe would have so many seeds that might enter the foundation building realm, and there are so many people with Shantian talents. As long as he cultivates these people with his heart, the future of the Ujumchin tribe can be expected. This is the medicine pill taking plan I listed, please check it out. Huakai handed over the training plan and the price of medicine pill to each other. Seeing Huakai according to each of them's realm and attributes, when should I take the medicine pill of Ascension Physique, when should I take the medicine pill of Ascension True Qi, and how to restore vitality after taking the Baojian pill, according to the regulations without breakthrough, how to get rid of erysipelas in the body, this piece of information can be seen from Huakai's dedication. They are all very good, I fully believe in your ability. But is the price of this medicine pill a bit too expensive? Ujumukan said distressedly. You are all used in the training of Type 1 and Type 2 personnel. Many of the Baodin they take cannot be bought with money, and the price of medicine pill for 7 Type 1 personnel is more than 300,000 gold. Huakai said. Well then, I wonder if you received the elixir and strange stone delivered today. When can you give me the elixir you said? 6 elixir and 3 strange stones are worth 560,000 gold. Excluding today's 370,000 gold, there is still 190,000 gold left. I have brought medicine pill. Each pill box has the name and quantity of medicine pill, price, function and precautions for preservation. Huakai said as he took out more than a dozen pill bottles or pill boxes from the portable space, and placed them in front of the chief Ujumukan. Patriarch Ujumukan was not surprised that Huakai was able to produce so many medicine pills. Those 6 elixirs were the most precious things collected by the tribe, and they were replaced with the pile of medicine pills in front of him. Of the 419 people selected today, except for the 12 people with qualifications above A+, who follow the second category medicine pill specifications, everyone else will be equipped with the third category medicine pill specifications. If the money is not enough, there will be elixir and strange stones sent tomorrow. Chief Zumukin checked the prices of all medicine pills and said to Huakai. 46%. Chapter 258 Arrangement and Cooperation. Huakai checked the attributes of 5,000 people in the Ujumchin tribe every morning. His investigation objects ranged from elite soldiers to ordinary soldiers, then to young men and young men. In half a month, Huakai checked about 150,000 people. The Chomokan tribe found 2088 people with qualifications above B+. From the beginning of finding more than 400 people a day, to the end of Huakai's 5,000 investigations a day, only a few highly qualified people were found. The number of people sent by the Ujumukan Patriarch every day became less and less. There were 2088 highly qualified people. At first, the Patriarch Ujumchin asked Huakai to list the strength ascension plan. Later, all the elixir became less and less, and he couldn't change a few medicine pill a day, so he stopped giving A+ or less. Those with qualifications exchanged for medicine pill. Counting the harvest in the past 2 months, there are more than 26,000 elixirs, most of which are Nula level elixir, and the most valuable are the 6th rank or higher elixir on the first day. A total of nearly 6,000 medicine pills were handed over to the chief Ujumchin, which made some of the elixir in the pill refining room in the family secret realm space run out, and a few common medicines were all used up, but fortunately Uncle Wu can go to Lindsay City to replenish his shortage of medicinal materials, and now he has enough common medicinal materials in his pill refining room. There are a total of thousands of medicine pill refining. In fact, Huakai spends more than 2,000 elixir. Ordinary auxiliary medicines are not worth a few dollars, not counting the cost of more than 5,000 gas luck. Huakai made a profit this time. More than 10 times the profit. The Ujumukan tribe has collected all the elixir that can be collected around it, and even the elixir in the nearby tribes have been sent a few days ago. In the past few days, he has begun to send people to other large tribes to find elixir. A good nephew can be here. Huakai was meditating in the tent and heard the voice of the Patriarch Ujumukan outside the tent. He walked out and saw the other side smiling and standing outside his account. Uncle came so early today, but someone in the tribe break through Shantian. Huakai looked at the Ujumukan Patriarch and asked with a smile. Since taking medicine pill a few days ago, people from the Ujumchin tribe have continued to make breakthroughs, and the Patriarch of Ujumchin has come to Huakai once a day. Patriarch Ujumchin asked Huakai to be worthy of his uncle and nephew, and Huakai couldn't help but obey. Haha, there was a small banner owner breakthrough Shantian last night, and another breakthrough this morning. In these 10 days or so days, the tribe has already had 5 breakthroughs in the aura realm one after another, and the number of breakthroughs in the aerodynamic realm is nearly 100. Patriarch Ujumukan said happily. That's good, uncle, don't forget our agreement. When Huakai talked about this, Patriarch Ujumukan's face suddenly turned wrong. Whenever he happily talked about ascension of tribal strength to Huakai, Huakai often said such a sentence to him, which made Patriarch Ujumukan feel. It's not beautiful. Is it still far? Helping a few people in the tribe want to marry my daughter. These medicine pills, I used to exchange elixir and strange stones for you. Ujumukan said that, but I felt a little confident. Not at all. Without Huakai's selection of the 2088 highly qualified members, how could he have such confidence in the tribe now? What uncle needs to tell me is that I am leaving in half a month. When I come next time, it may be time to marry Urantuya. If you don't have any requirements, it means that my betrothal gift is enough. Yes, I agreed to marry Urantuya. Hua Kai said deliberately. It's too early. The Ujumchin tribe lacks everything right now. Can you discuss with your family and first credit a batch of medicine pills to our tribe? When you come next time, I will definitely prepare enough spirits for you. Medicine and strange stones. Chief Wujumukin walked to Hua Kai and said with a smile. Ujumukin knew that Huakai had a way to communicate with his family, and he could also send medicine pill from thousands of miles away, which was remarkable. He also knows that existence beyond the foundation building realm possesses many magical abilities. They can refine the spiritual treasure that communicates with the world, so he values the Huakai family more and more. Credit is impossible. Only mutual benefit and equality between the two families can develop in the long term. I see that your tribe does not have a few decent weapons. If you need it, I can find a way to give you a batch of weapons, as well as salt, cloth, tea, etc. Hua Kai said. What Huakai said is urgently needed by the grassland. Chief Ujumchin considered Huakai's words. If the other party can send a large amount of goods, the strength of the Ujumchin tribe will be fully ascension plus tribal combat power. Constantly ascension, the status and influence in the Atsuki kingdom will also grow. How much can you deliver? How much does the Ujumchin tribe need? Hua Kai asked. Is there any food? Chief Wujumukin looked at Huakai. Food. If the quantity is not large, you can, Hua Kai said. I will make a list for you. The elixir and the strange stone tribe are gone. It may take some time to collect them from other big tribes. Chief Wujumukin said after thinking about it. There is no elixir. You can trade horses, slaves, furs, animal bones, but I can't transport horses and slaves back. You need to send people to the Ordos tribe of the Huns. This is easy to say. We are familiar with all the major tribes of the Huns. I have also heard of the Ordos tribe. If it is fast, it can be delivered in more than 2 months, said the Chief Ujumukin. The two people are now talking about not only cultivating talents for the Ujumchin tribe, but also extending to the development of the overall strength of the tribe. In the evening, Huakai came to Wangjung and saw that the other party had already listed the list. Hua Kai took a look at the list, and the goods requested by the Chief Ujumukin were much larger than he thought. The first is weapons. The list says 36th rank weapons, 1,005th rank weapons, 12,000 4th rank weapons, and 60,000 3rd rank weapons. 1,000 stones of table salt, 1,000 stones of white sugar, 50,000 caddies of tea, 3,000 horses of silk, 10,000 horses of fine cloth, 30,000 horses of coarse cloth, and 10,000 caddies of fine wine. The main line of grain, it says 300,000 she of grain. Uncle, the goods on this list are not a small number. Huakai closed the list and looked at Patriarch Ujumukin. Can these goods be delivered? The head of the Ujumchin clan looked at Huakai hopefully and asked. He deliberately wrote so many goods because of the strength of the family behind Huakai. If Urantuya were to marry to the Central Plains, she would definitely be a powerful family. The quantity of cloth, sugar, and tea is quite large. I can only prepare half of the quantity in a short period of time. I can give you 200,000 she for grain. That's okay, but when can you deliver these goods? Although Huakai fully agreed, the Chief Ujumchin didn't want to receive the goods until a few years later. You prepare a big tent so that everyone stays away and the goods can be delivered at any time, but how the Ujumchin tribe intends to trade, the value of these goods is not small. Huakai reminded. These goods, especially those weapons, are worth more than 1.2 million gold. Without the elixir and strange stones, even if the Ujumchin tribe's cattle, sheep, and slaves were sold out, it would not be enough to make up that much money. Can you change some of the supplies first? I will send you all the fur and animal bones tomorrow. How much do you need for cattle, sheep, and horses? Chief Ujumukin said with some embarrassment. His thoughts, Hua Kai, could not understand. When the goods arrived, he allocated a part of the other tribes of the Dayu kingdom, and all the money was returned. Also, tomorrow you will send in fur, animal bones and other things that need to be sold, and set up the tent. After all the prices are calculated, Haotian will send you some of the goods first. Let's receive the goods one day and deliver the supplies one day. Hua Kai Dao. Having decided to establish a long-term cooperative relationship with the Ujumchin tribe, Huakai will not hide it. The more mysterious and powerful he is, the more important he will be, and the matter with Urantuya will become a matter of course. Let the Ujumchin tribe taste the benefits of trade, and their dependence on Huakai will become stronger. Even if the Ujumchin Patriarch disagrees with Urantuya marrying him, the entire Ujumchin tribe will let him agree. In the evening, Huakai communicated with Wushu in the family secret realm space. Wahia buys a large amount of goods from the Four Seas Chamber of Commerce every year. This is mainly to satisfy the growing population of Wahia and for commercial use. The goods needed by the Ujumchin tribe, including salt, sugar, tea, and grain, are available in Huakai Baoguang glass bottle, but the amount of tea and sugar is not enough and needs to be replenished. The other cloths and weapons will make the two of them shed a little bit from the family secret realm space. Cloth occupies a small space, and it's the easiest to move upside down. Weapon upside down is a problem. Uncle Wu's Babao Knight armor has only 0.1 cubic meters of space and can only have more than a dozen weapons at a time. On the second day, Huakai was inspecting the goods from the Ujumchin tribe, and Jaliu City was busy. All the population and materials of the Hua family have now been transferred to Jaliu City. Many family members send weapons, cloth, sugar, tea, etc. from the warehouse to Washington, and then the family members deliver these items to Hua Zichen's room. In order to save time, Hua Zichen sent these items to the family secret realm space and handed them to Shui Chen. Shui Chen put the goods into the long carping stone, and when Huakai was finished at night, he would put the things in the space. Give it to Huakai, so that they can get a lot faster. Hua Xing has contacted the Chamber of Commerce of the Four Seas, and the Hua family is increasing its cargo reserves. The three of Huakai, Shui Chen, and Hua Zichen can use the family secret realm space to dump goods, making it easier to trade with the tribes of the grassland. Goods can be delivered to the grassland easily, and dead objects such as grassland fur and animal bones can also be transported back through the family secret realm space. It was difficult to transport horses, cattle, sheep, and slaves. The total population of the newly built Jaliu city has reached 50,000, and now it is time for everything to be done. Everyone is thinking about the future development direction of Jaliu city. Now most of the 50,000 people are busy with construction. Wahia provides construction funds. When the construction of Jaliu city is completed, many people have to consider livelihood issues if they want to stay in Jaliu city. Grandpa and other members of the family believe that the family's future development of animal husbandry is the best direction. Wouldn't it be wasteful if the grasslands of Jaliu County are not grazing, so everyone is thinking about how to get more livestock from the grasslands, of course. Slave. 46%. Chapter 259. Huakai's presence in the Ujumchin tribe gave the Hua family an opportunity to penetrate deeper into the grassland. After Huakai decided to make the Ujumchin tribe the next key transaction object for the family, everyone began to trade for all. The goods are prepared. Because of the distance, the caravan cannot walk back and forth from the Ujumchin tribe in a year. It is not an easy task to drive the cattle and sheep of the Ujumchin tribe back to Jaliu city. In order to better complete the transaction, Wahia has already begun to plan to transfer part of its manpower to the grassland. Regarding the Ordos tribe as a transit point and using the Ujumchin tribe as a springboard, the goods of the Hua family can penetrate into the tribes of the Chang, Qunrong and even more western regions, so that they can collect more elixir, strange stones and the strength of the Ascension family. After discussion, Zhuang will go to the Ujumchin tribe this year. He needs to arrange to send all the slaves, livestock, and horses to the Ordos tribe to Shui Chen who is in the Ordos tribe. These slaves and livestock will rest for a year in the Ordos tribe. Later, rush to Takaliu County. Hua Zichen has sent 10 Wahia super-class patriarchs, and Qing Jirtai led more than 500 family elite patriarchs to the Ordos tribe. They will not return until the family caravan arrives next year. Today, the Ujumchin tribe sent millions of caddies of animal bones and more than 200,000 pieces of animal skins to the tents outside the tribe that had been erected. It is ugly, but fortunately it has a large area inside. Hua Kai stayed outside the tent and watched the soldiers take piles of animal bones and fur into the tent. He pointed out the problem of the quality of the fur and the incorrect classification of the animal bones. When the goods in the tent were all piled up, Hua Kai asked everyone to leave. He returned to the tent and put all the animal bones and furs into the portable space. Enter the family secret realm space and hand over the goods in the space to Shui Chen. Shui Chen's dragon inkstone space is the largest among the three. Huakai took hundreds of transfers in an hour before transferring all the goods to Shui Chen Long in the carping stone space. Shui Chen came out of the family secret realm space and stored the goods in the Ordos tribe first, and then after Huakai returned to Jaliu city, the two could be transported out like this, which is simple and convenient. While Huakai and Shui Chen were pouring animal bones and fur, Hua Zichen transported the silken weapons needed by Huakai to Shui Chen. Because of the largest space, Shui Chen became the transit person for this mission. The fur and animal bones of 3 tents were emptied in one day, and the sky was slowly getting dark. The harvest in one day today is greater than the harvest of fur and animal bones in any trade in previous years. According to statistics today, there are a total of more than 200,000 furs of various qualities, and more than 4 million caddies of animal bones above the intermediate level. These are worth more than 37,000 gold on the grassland, but the energy value of the Central Plains is more than 100,000 gold. Huakai took the list to the king's account of the Ujumchin tribe. After reading it, the chief Ujumchin curled his lips with dissatisfaction. So many animal bones and furs are worth so much money. Huakai glanced at each other. This is completely because the transactions of hundreds of thousands of gold a few days ago have made the other party feel heartbroken. Elixir and strange stones are things that are only played at the top of the world. What about these ordinary animal skins and animal bones? Compared to? I said, Uncle, this is the reason why there are 2 demonic beast skins, otherwise your goods are not worth 20,000 gold. Huakai said angrily. Ha, I know that there are so many animal bones and furs that can't be exchanged for 100 ordinary medicine pills. This is a bit different from before. Patriarch Ujumukin smiled bitterly. I have already marked all the prices of the goods you want. If you need to change something, please mark it. I will put the goods you need in the big tent tomorrow. During this period, everyone must exit the tent 100 meters. Besides, you will send someone in to collect the goods after I come out. Huakai said. Patriarch Ujumchin looked at the prices of all the goods, and first wrote 500 stone snowflake salt, 2,200 bone coins per caddy of snowflake salt, and 500 stone equals 22,000 gold. This time 37,000 gold left 15,000 gold. Looking at the remaining money, the chief Wujumukin chose to replace all of them with grain, 3,700 bone coins per stone for wheat and 4,500 bone coins for rice, 12 times the price of food in Guangxian County. This is unimaginable in the Central Plains, but in Wuju the Mukin tribe is already considered a price of conscience. A total of 40,000 shi of grain is not enough for the entire Ujumchin tribe to eat for 2 months. Oh, that's all. Huakai, it's not uncle. I said, what is our relationship? If you really marry Urantuya in the future, then we will not be a family. Ujumukin tribe plus slaves and affiliations, the number of the tribe is close to 1 million, this is a drop in the bucket for the tribe. There will be a batch of elixir coming back tomorrow afternoon. There are about 4,000, of which there are 2 6th rank elixir, worth more than 200,000 gold. Can you deliver some more goods tomorrow? Hautian, we will count the elixir pay for these goods. Patriarch Ujumukin asked carefully. Huakai hesitated for a while. The price of these ordinary goods is far different than the price of elixir. If tomorrow is to release 40,000 shi of food, he will not use half an hour. Hautian is the time to count the goods of the Ujumukin tribe. This day time is wasted. After thinking about it, Huakai agreed to the proposal of Chief Ujumchin. If the other party has 4,000 elixir to send tomorrow afternoon, it is not impossible to give the other party some goods first, so he nodded and allowed it. But just after 10 minutes, Huakai regretted it. Patriarch Wujumukin directly changed the 4 stone grain into 20 stone, the total value of which was more than 50,000 gold. With a big wave of the weapon, he wrote 2 of the 6 ranks, 30 in the 5th rank, and tens of thousands in the 4th rank. The total value of the weapon is 240,000 gold. There are some other silk, cotton, sugar, tea, etc. Huakai roughly calculated it. The total value is close to 350,000 gold. I said, Uncle, your goods are wrong. Didn't you say that the elixir is worth 200,000 gold? Huakai asked while looking at the other party. There are still more than 10 days, and every day you will send elixir and strange stones back. You will give me these goods first, and in a few days you will be filled with elixir, strange stones, and horses. Chief Wujumukin is free, said. Huakai felt that something was wrong, but there was nothing in his mind. What does the Wujumukin tribe say is that they will not pit their own goods, right? After a good night's sleep, Huakai stayed in the large tent trading goods after he got up for breakfast the next day. First let Wushu and Shui Chen pour weapons and cloth, and he asked him to use the entire tent inside and around the ground. Enclose all the furs and prepare utensils for holding food. A few minutes after entering the big tent, Huakai came out of the big tent. Chief Ujumchin personally led thousands of elite soldiers from the tribe to carry out the food in the tent little by little. Now the price of grassland slaves has been reduced several times compared with before. The reason is that the number of livestock has been greatly reduced after the catastrophe, and the grasslands are short of food. With these 200,000 she of grain, how many livestock seeds the tribe can save by eating? The 200,000 she of grain in the hands of the Ujumukan Patriarch can be too useful. 200,000 stone of grain sounds like a large amount, but it is placed in a tent of more than 400 square meters, that is, more than 20 tents. Huakai only takes a few minutes to fill the tent each time, but it exhausts thousands of tribes. Elite soldiers. After busying for 2 days and 1 night, all 200,000 she of grain was removed by the chief Ujumukan. After the 200,000 she of grain was released in the Bayoguang glass bottle, there was only 40,000 she of grain left. If this year there are too many slaves transported from the Ujumchin tribe to the Ordos tribe, perhaps the food is only enough for the Chinese people of the Ordos tribe to consume this year. However, Wahia is not worried about food. This year, the 20,000 mu of farmland outside Wahiabao is rising very well. The drought has all passed this year. It will be easier to go to the south to buy food. When the food in the space is used up, you can continue to slowly save again. After the 200,000 stone grains were transported, Huakai began to slowly transfer snow, salt, cloth, etc. These things were easy to transfer, that is, the weapons needed by the other party needed to be slowly handed over. Wahia is accelerating the production of low-quality weapons, weapons above the 5th rank. It may take a while, and the 6th rank can only be refined by Huakai using the family luck value in weapon shop. The entire cargo handover lasted 3 days, but this did not have any impact on the Ujumchin tribe. Those who participated in the handover were the people most trusted by the Ujumchin Patriarch. On this day, Huakai handed over the 4th rank weapons accumulated by the family to Chief Ujumukan. The remaining 4th rank weapons will be handed over in about a few days, but the 5th rank weapons are much worse. Huakai asked the Chief Ujumchin about each weapon's requirements and refined more than 20 weapons at one time from the weapon shop. This completed the transaction, and only 6 of his family luck values were used by him. Qianduo, if he wants to refine weapons, he can only talk about it when he leaves. On this day, Huakai received the elixir from the Ujumchin tribe. There are only more than 400 elixir in this batch, and the 3rd rank elixir is rare. Huakai knows that the elixir of the Ujumchin tribe has been taken by him. The search is almost the same, and we can only wait a few more years for a big harvest. Patriarch Ujumukan came to Huakai's tent. He was here today to tell Huakai about slaves and horses. This time I plan to send 10,000 soldiers to escort these slaves and horses to the Ordos tribe. The slaves have 20,000 horses and 13,000. Chief Ujumukan was also shrewd. He knew that Huakai could check the qualifications of slaves and would not let them. All slaves are selected at a uniform price and matched according to the ratio of men and women to young and old. Well, as long as all the slaves are sent to the Ordos tribe, 1 gold per person. A strong horse is 2 gold, and a steed is 10 gold. I will accept all the number of Central Plains slaves that the Ujumukan tribe can send to offset uncle's credit. Huakai said while looking at the Chief Ujumukan. Huakai was very distressed when it came to the issue of credit. He found that as long as he opened a credit account, he couldn't stop it anymore. At first, I owed more than 100,000 gold, and it was hard to pay it off in a few days. However, when the Chief Ujumchin found him, it was a soft and hard bubble. The goods of more than 200,000 gold were owed again. Today, the other party has already owed 370,000 yuan. Gold goods are out. 46%. Chapter 260. All the herdsmen of the Ujumchin tribe have recently discovered that the price of daily necessities in exchange for the tribe has suddenly dropped a lot. In the past, a sheep could only be exchanged for half a caddy of coarse salt, but now it can be replaced with a caddy of snow salt, and there are more tribal cloth styles, and many herders come to buy it. Many affiliated tribes have also sent people to the Ujumchin tribe these days, and Huakai felt that the entire Ujumchin tribe was lively. In a month, there were 17 breakthrough Shantians from the Ujumchin tribe, which doubled the number of their high-end combat power ascension and more than 200 people in the training aura. The strength of the entire tribe has taken a big leap. I don't feel that these ordinary herders. What? But many people in the Ujumchin tribe know that all of this was brought by Huakai. Haotian was the last time of the appointment. Kai came to the king's tent, and all the tribe soldiers and flag owners saluted him when they saw him. Patriarch Ujumchin has given the right to freely enter his royal tent, and everyone in the tribe takes it for granted. They have all regarded Kai as the future husband of Urantuya, or the future king of the tribe. Kai saw that the Ujumchin patriarch was discussing with several tribal flag owners. This month, many flag owners of the Ujumchin tribe lost their power inexplicably. The patriarchs were extremely respected, and no one noticed that Patriarch Ujumukin only spent a month with a much greater prestige than before. Seeing Kai coming in, several banner owners saluted and retired to Patriarch Ujumukin and Kai. Kai nodded in response. Kai, nephew, why are you here again? I will pay the 370,000 gold owed to you after a while. Patriarch Ujumukin saw Kai and thought he was here again to remind him, and said hurriedly, Uncle, I'm not here to ask for an account today. It has been almost a month since I came to the Ujumchin tribe. Hautian, I have to leave. My family is still waiting for me to return. Today, I will hand over the last 3 6th rank weapons. This time you promised to pay all the goods. Tomorrow, people from our tribe will stay here forever. If you have anything you can negotiate with him, he can pass the word to me. Kai said. Leaving, yes, it's almost a month. Time flies so fast. I'll let Urantuya come back in a while, so you can't leave more time. The few big banner owners who went out in half a month will all come back. I'll be able to pay you back then. Chief Ujumukin said. No, you can talk to the people who stayed with us when the time comes. If you need any more goods while I'm still there, the transaction will not be so simple next year. Kai said. Patriarch Ujumchin ordered some fine wine, salt and cloth, worth more than 200,000 gold, which was enough for them to establish a new order in the Dayu kingdom within 3 years. In the early morning of the next day, Kai heard a familiar voice from outside the tent as he got up. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, pretending to see nothing. Urantuya quietly walked into the Kai tent and came behind him. Her face was full of joy. Guess who I am? Urantuya deliberately changed her voice. Is it Ina? Kai asked tentatively. That's not right. Urantuya was a little angry. This time she used the original voice. Then it must be its unique style. Saren. Kai deliberately said. You forgot all about them so quickly, but I miss you every day. Urantuya walked to Kai angrily, and saw Kai looking at herself with a smirk, knowing that the other party had discovered herself a long time ago. With a shy face on his face, he threw himself into the arms of the opponent. When did you come back? When Kai saw Urantuya leaning on his shoulder, he could feel that the other party missed on. Last night my father sent me a message to come back, because it was too late, and the queen sent me back this morning. During the time I left, did my father embarrass you? He told me that as long as I leave for a month, he will agree. I married you and said that you would definitely let me come back before you left. It seems that my father didn't deceive me this time. Urantuya said happily. Kai smiled and looked at Urantuya's delicate face. The other's eyes were all in love with Own. It is said that feelings are a magical thing. There is no reason at all. Kai remembered the bit by bit of the two of them. The sublimation of the two of them should be in Shuangsheng Lake. I have to go home tomorrow morning. I will come back to marry you after 2 years. Someone from my family will arrive at noon today. After I leave, you can let him pass on what you have to say to me. Kai said slowly. The smile on Urantuya's face suddenly disappeared, and she hugged Kai's shoulders and did not speak. All this had been anticipated when she came back, but when she really heard that Kai was leaving, Urantuya was still uncomfortable. Kai gently wiped away tears for Urantuya, stroked her back, and hummed softly the ballads the other party had taught him. When Urantuya heard this, she stopped crying. She looked at Kai idiotically, as if she wanted to remember him forever. Today I will accompany you all day long. You can go anywhere, Kai said to Urantuya. Let's go to Shuangsheng Lake. I want to go there, Urantuya said. Kai nodded and went out of the tent with Urantuya. He saw a clouded leopard squatting quietly outside the tent, quietly staring at the crowd in the distance, but there was no fierceness on his face, like a man. Curious baby. I gave it a new name called Xiaoyun. It is obedient now. I think it knows everything. I can ride on it now. It runs faster than Zhao Hong. Urantuya happily introduced Xiaoyun to him. According to Urantuya, Xiaoyun was the first gift Kai gave to herself. Well, it's indeed a lot more docile. Wakai watched Clear Cloud Leopard approaching it, and the other party just looked at himself warily. Huakai fetched Black Eagle and went to Shuangsheng Lake with Warentuya. Warentuya rode on Xiaoyun so fast, Huakai couldn't help sighing that the mount in the foundation building environment was amazing. In the past 1 hour's journey, the two of them took less than half an hour to reach their destination. Huakai Road has been inputting true chi to Black Eagle, and now Black Eagle has sweated all over, and Xiaoyun the atmosphere didn't even breathe. Today, there is no guard to follow. It may be that the chief Ujimukin feels that Urantuya has Xiaoyun enough protection, or maybe he has really accepted Urantuya's marrying away, which makes it rare for them to enjoy the world of two people. Shuangsheng Lake is still the same as before, just like they come every time. Wakai hugged Warentuya and sat on the rocks by the lake, watching the clear lake and blue sky, enjoying this beautiful moment. It's been less than a month since I left the tribe. The tribe has become much more prosperous than before. Many people have put on brand new clothes. Did you cause your family to lose a lot this time? Urantuya usually looks lively and active, but she is not stupid at all. She knows what his father wants in his heart better than anyone else. If Huakai hadn't paid a huge price, how could Clan Chief Ujimukin have such a good attitude? Get what you need. My family has also got what it needs. In the future, the strength of the Ujumchin tribe will enter a stage of rapid development. I think your father is not much different from the foundation building, and there will be no one in the future. God tells you that you are the hope of the tribe in the future. Wakai said. Urantuya laughed happily. No one knew the pressure she was under. Whenever she saw her tribe respecting herself more and more, she would be Alexander, but if his father succeeded in the foundation building, the tribe would be a brand new look, and she no longer needs to be the hope of the Ujumu Heart tribe. Thank you, Warentuya whispered to Huakai. She looked at the big boy in front of her. Although she didn't say anything to her that she cared about her, she was always thinking about herself, embracing Huakai's waist. People feel each other's heartbeat, and at this moment their hearts seemed to have merged into one. The Erzhuang set off from the Ordos tribe, and a group of more than 20 people rode on 2 horses. In 14 days, they crossed over 6,000 miles from the Zongnu country to the Ujumchin tribe. They reached 30 miles outside the Ujumchin tribe and were blocked by a team of cavalry. Explaining that they were taken to the central area of the Ujumchin tribe, the chief Ujumchin personally met them. Patriarch Ujumchin tasted the profit from the trade. This time he obtained millions of gold goods from Huakai. This made the tribal strength ascending several steps, and at the same time, the tribal wealth also more than doubled. A good family relationship is of great significance to the Ujumchin tribe. Huakai never told anyone in the family about Urantuya, and the second Zhuang waited in the Ujumchin tribe until the afternoon and did not see Huakai. The tribe herders have set up tents for them. They live in an area only a few hundred meters away from the king's tent, which shows that the Ujumchin tribe attaches great importance to them. Asking the patriarch of Ujimukin, the other party just sighed. Erzhuang asked an ordinary herdsman outside the account for some reason. The other party told him that Huakai and Princess Urantuya left the tribe early in the morning and did not know where they went. Everyone in the Hua family couldn't help but feel happy when they heard this. Did the head of the family find the mistress for them? With the continuous growth of the Hua family, the issue of direct coefficient has become the most troublesome issue for the family. Nowadays, Huang Shuyun lives alone in the main courtyard of Nuo University. The family is counted as the housekeeper and the maid. The development of the family depends on his 4 uncles and grandpa. After learning that Wakai was chased by the foundation building and fled into Tianshan, the core members of the Hua family felt that there were too few direct members of the family. Wakai has not yet been engaged at the age of 19. This is rarely seen in the family. Hua Xing has asked someone to find him a suitable woman from the big family. With Wakai's current status, if he wants to become the mother of the Hua family, he must be above the 4th rank. It's only if you are a daughter of the aristocratic family. Hearing this, the second Zhuang couldn't help but point a little bit. If Huakai could marry the princess of the Ujumchin tribe, the Hua family's role in making this ally would be no worse than the 1st-rank family. This would instead allow the Hua family to reduce the attention of the Central Plains forces, so as to quietly strengthen own strength. So as to quietly strengthen own strength. So as to quietly strengthen own strength.